me.
That's right. There's like it's like 83% or something like that of all PSN or PlayStation owners are PS Plus subscribers as well.
That's a good ratio.
That's where their
Huge
money,
percent.
a lot of their money is coming
That's
from.
a
Yeah,
huge
it's like
ratio.
a very
Holy cow.
huge percent. Like a shocking number. There's
I
like
wonder-
almost 50 million PS Plus subscribers.
I wonder what it
Damn.
is for Xbox, like for Game Pass.
Oh, they had
subscribers.
12, right? They said they had
12
12
mil.
million, I think. I think Microsoft said that Game Pass at 12 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
how
but-
many users do they have?
Oh, users? I don't know. I'm just saying like there's almost 48 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. Not just users, but subscribers.
Yeah.
They say about 80% of their install base or 80% of the PlayStation owners have PS Plus.
That's really good.
So
It's a
that's
good feature.
really
I
good
mean,
numbers, man.
The $50 is like a cool little price. It's not even really anything.
I
to,
never
like,
pay 50 for PS
It
Plus.
always goes
man.
on sale.
Right, but
30
I'm
is
just
what I
saying,
pay a
like,
year.
If you were
baseline,
to-
like,
yeah.
if you was to just like
Yeah,
have
it's like
bought it
buying one game a
online,
year. Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's worth 50.
Yeah,
Even
All
if
day.
that's what you're paying. I mean, there's been years that I paid 50.
Yeah, I was gonna
but-
say I did pay 50.
Yeah,
a
there's
couple
been
times.
it's happened, but for the most
Where you
part, I
let
try to
your-
get like one or
your,
two when they're on sale.
Your thing
You forgot to
lapsed and then
cancel?
It
Yeah.
auto
like,
charges
Yeah,
your
it's like,
card.
all right, whatever. You're happy still because you like it, but
Yeah.
you're a little bummed because you didn't get the deal
Good
you're
deal.
looking for. But
Right, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like it's just, 50,
deal.
Yeah,
50
you're
isn't
fine
bad,
with
and
it.
then you find
Yeah.
like $35, $40 ones,
Mhm.
for a year and stuff like that. You know?
28.
Verizon just gave me like 3 months for free just for
Really?
having Verizon.
That's
yeah,
cool.
so I was like, oh, that's not bad. So I used that, so that extended me a little bit.
Was
but,
it just an award you had to claim or what?
it's on your front page when you go on it, and it shows you like a whole bunch of things when you swipe up, and then one of them it showed like a PlayStation.
Mark immediately
enjoy
pulls his phone
PlayStation
out.
on us.
He's
Dude,
like,
I'm
I
like,
gotta
free
snag
PlayStation
this real
Plus?
quick.
Yes,
He's like,
please.
stop everything. He instantly went to his phone.
I hope
dude.
you
That's
you
so
didn't get it
funny,
in
man.
time. I could have sworn I
Oh, it
mentioned that to
expired?
you, did.
Did it expire already?
It's not on my page anymore. and it
Oh,
was sitting
damn.
on my page for like a cool minute.
World of Warships
Yeah.
gets $75 off in-game content.
Whoa, what is that, man? I want that.
I don't even play
I never
World of
played World of
Warships,
Warship, but
huh?
I played lots of. Actually,
World
World
of
of Tanks wasn't my highest
Yeah.
doc to play games.
World
was-
of Tanks.
World of
was?
That was a
Tanks,
great
yeah.
game.
I really like World of Tanks, man. I still kind of want to hunt back in there and play it some more.
Yeah,
I hope they
remember
give a PS5 upgrade for it, then I would definitely
Oh, yeah,
play
for
it.
sure.
I remember you really loved it from when we went to the PSN or the PlayStation Experience.
Oh
the
yeah,
PSX.
I played it, right?
Yeah, and you had played it, and
That's a fun game.
they had that competition for that PlayStation that was like all like painted and stuff like that for like the World Tank winners.
Oh, really?
But you had to like, dude, you
Yeah,
had to
like,
like
beat everybody.
dedicate a lot of time at those computers to try to get like that high score.
That's cool.
You have to really know. what
Yeah,
you're
I thought
doing.
it was a cool game, and then I went home from that event, and I installed it.
Yeah.
And I was playing, I was hooked, man. Like I enjoy it still. It's tons of fun.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
good
it was
game,
a
dude.
cool
I
little
like it.
game.
It's
I think it
super-
would probably be.
Escapist, kind of, you know.
I had like that kind of like feeling because the tanks were a little slow. But I think there's probably like some faster tanks that you could get that are like a little bit
Yeah,
more nimble.
but you're a
little
tank at the
quicker
end of
to
the day.
maneuver.
Yeah,
you're a
that's
tank,
true.
but I'd rather be like a battle cruiser
That's
or
true.
something, like
Because
a
what the
land
low tier
cruiser.
tanks are pretty quick, right?
Yeah, you can get a small tank,
Yeah.
a light tank, and
Put
they,
it
they
somewhere.
move pretty
But then
quick,
you
but
can
they
get
take very
destroyed
few
like
hits,
real
man.
quick. That's the
Yeah,
trade off.
right.
But they're really neat because like they really wreck artillery. So you have like four
That's
different types of tanks. You have like light, medium, heavy, and then
Are they like
artillery.
glass cannons or something?
The light ones are pretty much glass cannons. There's a couple that are not can take a hit or two.
Yeah.
But you just try to get behind enemy lines, right? And then you destroy the artillery because you like one shot them, even in the light tanks.
Yeah.
And then you try to get behind tanks, but it can be tough, man, because everyone's tanks, they're all lined up looking, man, to shoot everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't like playing light tanks, but they have their use. They're not kind of like it's not like they're like garbage like tier 0. I mean tier 4 or something like that.
Right,
Like
right.
you can still do okay with them.
Yeah. But welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming podcast. I believe this is episode
Yeah.
36.
Episode 36.
Yeah, so we're climbing up there. And today is it's not our usual day of recording. We had to push it a little back, but it's nice and sunny. It's nice and warm,
Yep.
So
We're not freezing today. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm definitely glad that it's a little bit warmer.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
what have you guys been up to this weekend?
Well, I've still been playing Immortal Phoenix Rising.
Nice. Yeah, I
Like
saw you on that.
there's some other games that I want to play. Like for instance, I downloaded Dead Cells, the new DLC.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
did
They
you?
just launched a new DLC for Dead Cells.
Is it on Game
Is
Pass
it
for
free?
free or what?
No, I don't know. I bought it on PlayStation for like $4 or something like that.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll just buy it because I wanted to play it in
Yeah.
4K
I didn't know you had bought Dead Cells.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
I beat Dead Cells.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like I beat that game quite a few times, and I kind of like I was like, well, what am I supposed to do now? I guess I could just keep playing, but I kind of just stopped.
Yeah.
And kind of like the same thing with Slay the Spire. Like those are all like really good games, but once you kind of get to the end, like a couple times, you kind of like stop playing it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I really, missed that quick, fun, instant gratification kind of action. Hop in, play a round or two, and just every minute is super fun. Because sometimes on these AAA games, there's like lulls in between like the action.
Yeah.
Like you get done like with a dope fighting section, and now you got to go talk to the guy, and you got like this lull. Where Dead Cells is just like quick gratification. It doesn't end. You're just having fun the whole time. And so I was like, I kind of want a game like that on my system.
Right.
And so I was like, and I saw the announcement trailer for the new DLC, and so I was like, I think I'm gonna put Dead Cells back on my console, and I bought the DLC. So I do want to play that, but man, I don't know. It's weird. Like Phoenix is like just good enough to like pull me away from other things. Like it's not like I'm like addicted, but it's like, okay, I'll just keep playing Phoenix. I could play this, but all right, Phoenix is right there. I'll just click again, and I just kept doing that all week.
Yeah,
where it's like, okay, I got something other, but it's like, I'll just go back in there. I'll just go do this one more thing, and so I've been enjoying it. Like the combat is really fun. I really enjoy the combat. Like, I think that's largely what pulls me in too, is like the combat, and then the level traversing is really fun. Flying around the map, you can actually like. So when you're gliding, you can switch to like bullet mode and actually shoot yourself forward.
That's cool.
So you can kind of like Superman it.
That's cool. Is that a special ability?
That's a special ability that you get later.
Okay.
That you can. It's like an upgrade. And so just cool things like that. And it's really fun exploring the world. It just gets a little addicting, collecting the crystals as you move, because the crystals let you. When you get like 7 of them, you can upgrade your health bar.
Okay.
And add more health. It's kind of like getting a heart in Zelda.
Got you.
So it's just been pulling me back in. I've been enjoying it, like it's definitely not masterpiece. It's definitely not a masterpiece, but it's like just good enough to keep pulling me back in. Like, is it better than Valhalla? I don't know. Sometimes I think, maybe I want to play Valhalla instead of this, but once again, it just kind of pulls me back in to keep playing it. It's fun fighting the big giant mythical creatures in the game. That's a lot of fun. And then like all the heroes of the myths, like Achilles, and all these Hermes,
like
and Hercules, like they all have been like taken over by the god that's corrupted the land, and he like turned them to his side. And so when you enter a new zone, they're called wraths. They're the old heroes. They can pop up in the land randomly. And then when you find one randomly, you then learn of his lair, and then you can actually go to his lair and fight him in particular. And then they give you like a plethora of like coins to spend on your upgrade items
after you defeat
them. And so
nice.
like those are always like really fun when you find a wrath zone. You're like, oh sweet, I gotta go fight this guy now. I kind of drop everything I'm doing and I go fight him now.
So you'll just be like walking down a path, and then all of a sudden like he'll just poof appear in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then what happens? Like you interact with him.
You
and then
fight
he gets
him.
Off,
fight him.
So you start fighting him, and then he'll retreat from the fight.
It's kind of like. Yeah, so I would like, oh, what's that over there? That looks like so there's chests all over the world, and then like some of them are unlocked through combat, some of them are unlocked through puzzles, and I'll just keep chest hopping, because I just want to collect the loot, and like I'll go to a chest and I'll see it's a puzzle, and then all of a sudden you've entered a wrath zone, and like it'll appear at the top of your screen, and then like creatures will start appearing, and then like Achilles will appear. And he's like a red tinged version of himself,
right?
Because he's like corrupted, right? And then you fight him, and he's like a little underpowered version of his boss form.
Okay.
And it's just supposed to be like a shadow of himself, and
just
like
to kind of get you prepped,
it's just to screw you.
Practice.
It's just to mess you up. Like it's just designed to mess you up. Like so, the idea is like every hero of every zone that. I don't know his name. The main villain's corrupted.
Yeah.
They have their wrath layer, and he gave them so they terrorize the land, and they have the ability, instead of themselves going out, to just send a projection of themselves out that fights just like them.
Yeah.
And so until you go to his lair and destroy him himself, he keeps throwing out projections of himself all over the map that you just run into.
I got you.
So whenever I happen to find a wrath zone in the new zone I'm in, like I kind of drop everything, because one thing is I don't want to keep being interrupted.
It's annoying.
Yeah, when I'm trying to do something, and all of a sudden I get attacked by Achilles the Wrath. It's like, because they're tough. They're stronger than normal enemies, you know? It's like they're not their boss version, but they're definitely a lot stronger than like a normal enemy.
Do you
And
get
so
like goodies and stuff for defeating their?
you get
their
nothing
little
for defeating
clone?
their clone, dude.
Oh,
I mean, you
so
get just
you
like
really
a few,
gotta get
maybe you
rid
get
of
like a few coins.
Okay.
But you do learn the location. So that's why like that's the
Nice.
one thing you get. When you fight a clone and you defeat it, then you learn of his location. They put it on the map for you. So then I just immediately
Beeline it
jet
straight
over.
there,
Yeah, I just
yeah.
beeline straight there. Like I go back to my home base and I collect my potions, you know, and I get everything ready. And then I head over there, you know.
Okay.
And I fight them. And that's when you get like, whenever I've beaten one of them, dude, I get like a treasure trove of like crystals. And I can go back and like finally upgrade my weapons that I've been waiting to upgrade.
Nice.
You know, and so I don't know, man. It just keeps drawing me back in, dude. Like I think you guys would really like it. I think you'd really enjoy it. There's just something, I don't know, man. There's some character there about it that just keeps drawing me back to it. You know, I think it's around an 8.5, but
Damn.
but it's something about the game just keeps drawing me back. I don't know if it's the quirky visuals, the pretty landscape, or if it's the combat I'm enjoying, or if I do enjoy the puzzles. I don't know, man. But like it just keeps drawing me back in. So I don't know if I'll play that more today or if I'll play something else. I don't know.
Is there any moments of like solitude while you're playing, or is it constantly getting narrated?
No,
by
it's not
Prometheus?
constantly getting narrated.
Okay. All right.
It's very rare. Like the only time that narration comes on is if like you enter an actual quest zone that you're doing,
Yeah.
or like you find something really shocking. Like I come to like the statue of Ares in the Ares zone, and I come to it and I want to climb it. Then like a little narration might chime in of him describing what I'm witnessing. Phoenix arrived at the
So
statue of Ares.
what about the cosmetic feature? Excuse me. I know you can transmog items, but is there like premium, like when you fight like Hercules, for example, do you get some
Crazy,
transmog for a weapon
you
or
do? You
outfit
get
or something?
something. You get something. But that's the thing. There's a finite number of pieces of chess pieces in the game. So
Oh, okay.
like I think there's like 12. So there's like 12 chess pieces you can find. And then after that, you just find color variations of those chess
Oh,
pieces.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you can like change your whole like color scheme.
all you
Make
can
it
change your
pretty
whole
dope.
color
That's
scheme.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have pieces of gear on that I'm not using there on any of my pieces. I've like linked up how they look and the color scheme I want it all to match.
Yeah.
You know, because I want my guy to look, you know, clean.
Right.
So yeah, so it is a lot of fun. Like the fun is just finding a piece of gear you haven't found yet. That's the most fun. But it is pretty cool too when you find a piece of gear that, especially if it's a loot set that you've been trying to collect, like Ares set, and you find another piece of it, like that's pretty fun.
Do they
Or
have,
like getting
bonuses?
new wings is cool, huh?
Do they have bonuses, like set bonuses?
All of them have bonus. No, not set bonuses, but all the gear has their own unique bonuses
That's
on
cool.
them.
Okay.
And then when you level up the piece of gear to like level 4, I think there's 7 levels. But when you hit level 4, you unlock like a super tier ability.
Oh,
And so you get
okay.
like an
So an extra
additional
perk will
ability.
pop
Yeah,
up.
an actual perk will pop up.
Nice.
And then you have like a little companion, like a little like phoenix companion.
Oh, okay.
And he's
I
like a
never saw
little
that before.
phoenix.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that's why it's Phoenix Rising. I don't know, but he's like a little like phoenix bird.
Yeah.
And he's pretty neat because he can actually change his look. And when you change his look, it changes his attributes too.
Oh,
That's
okay.
really cool.
So he can go earth, fire.
It's more
wind,
like he can
whatever?
go like from when he attacks, he replenishes health or stamina to you, or when he attacks, he does an explosion, so it's AoE.
Nice.
Or like when he attacks, he ricochets. Like you can change like his
That's
attribute
cool.
of what he does, and
Can
it's pretty
you-
it's pretty transformative. Like it changes it a lot, you know.
Can you direct his attacks?
Yeah, so basically, like you target somebody and you just send him out.
So it's like
Okay.
God
Press
of
like,
War
oh,
when you have the
um,
little boy doing the archery, you target.
Yeah,
shoot here
I think
or
so.
whatever.
Or it might be
Okay.
more closer to like the wolf in Valhalla that you're kind of describing.
Yeah. Where you
Where
aim
like
your
a-
bow and
Yes,
then
and you press a
select the
button,
ability and then he'll
right?
go
Yeah,
towards it?
exactly.
Okay.
So it's like you kind of like you're not aiming with your bow, but like you like just move your screen in the direction of an enemy,
Right.
and you press the button to pull your ability menu up, and you hit the ability, and then he'll just go and hit them.
Okay.
And like I really like it because like there's flying units, and those guys are like always a pain to like jump up and try to hit.
Yeah.
But if I send my Phoenix at them, or it's like a phosphorus bird.
Yeah.
He hits them like, and the one I have set up where it kind of like keeps going, keeps hitting them.
Oh, okay.
It'll knock him lower and lower and lower, and then I'll just
Oh,
run up
then
and
you can
finish him
swipe
off.
it?
So
That's
like
cool.
that's
You don't have
primarily
a
how I
bow?
use it. I do, but remember you're upgrading items individually. So like I put a lot of points into my sword and not so much into my
so
bow.
Your bow is like
my
weak.
sword is like OP strong, so I want to get my sword hits.
Yeah.
Like it would take a while with my bow, you know.
Right.
But I am getting to the point where now I'm starting to upgrade my bow and it's getting stronger, and I've been using it more and more recently.
Okay.
But
That's
yeah,
cool.
so it's sweet. What about you, Mark?
Nice. So I started the week off playing some Valhalla, but dude, the load times are killing me. Like on the PlayStation 4.
You need a PS5,
Dude,
man. It's nothing
the
on the
load
PS4.
times
I'm a
are
PS5,
like,
dude. Yeah.
All right, it got
It's
to
less
the
than a minute.
it got to the point
It's
where
like 12 seconds. I counted.
Oh, on my Xbox, it's less than a minute for certain stuff. It has gotten faster though. I did want to do that check or
Yeah.
whatever, but
Yeah.
it has gotten much faster. So I don't know if it was my Xbox or what was going on. But
Dude, Phoenix Rising
it's
is
been a
like
lot
6
faster.
seconds, 7 seconds.
yeah,
It loads so fast, man. I love it.
Yeah, the load times are atrocious. Like when I want to teleport to somewhere else, it's a cool like I'm gonna use the restroom, I'm gonna get something to do.
Dude, all the Assassin's Creed on the PS4 have been that
Dude,
way. Mhm.
and I can't do that. Honestly, it just took the fun away. Especially when you die too, and I'm like, all right, so I die, I'm back here, then I gotta port here, then I gotta run there. It's just
Well, it's a game changer on the PS5.
so,
Everything is like
so I'm
instantaneous.
waiting, I'm
Yeah.
waiting, you know, till I get my PS5. Hopefully in a
put-
couple
Oh
of
yeah,
weeks.
A round of applause.
announcement,
Yeah,
everybody.
hit the
Everybody
round of applause
announce.
Oh
button.
yeah,
We can
guys!
all
Shout out to
congratulate-
Squid. I'm finally
Yeah,
getting a
we can
PS5 in a couple of
congratulate
weeks.
Mark here. He's joined the next gen
All right,
crew.
I don't got it yet, but once
You
I
don't
get
got
it.
It's on
yet.
the way,
He still
man.
doesn't have it on in his hands
Yeah.
yet, but
yeah,
it's
so I'm
confirmed.
waiting to play it on the PS5. I'm like, no, dude, this game is not good on the PS4. I'm gonna be honest. You know, like I got to the point where I have an extra SSD. I was like, maybe I'll just put SSD in my PlayStation 4 because, dude, it literally takes.
Dude,
like,
try it. I'm curious. You should try that.
Like,
I'm curious about
I think
that,
I
dude.
think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do that because
Well,
I wonder if it would.
Yeah,
kickstart
it doesn't
a little
increase
quicker.
the load times on the games.
It does. I
Really?
watch YouTube videos. It takes like 20 seconds, about 20 to
It
25
shaves
seconds.
off 25
That's
seconds.
interesting.
Dude, you need to
Oh,
do that,
but
man.
he was working off of a regular PS4.
Yeah, just
not
a spin
Pro.
spin
Yeah.
drive.
So I
man.
wonder if
Yeah.
you had the PS4 Pro.
Oh,
and then
maybe
you
the
put the
Pro.
SSD in there. If that would
Oh, the Pro and the
make it
SSD.
even more faster.
So yeah, either way, it shaves some seconds off. So I think I might do that because, dude, it's just like
Yeah,
That
you
game-
probably
That's
can
gonna
do that in a minute, or like 30 minutes, right? You can make that change.
it's pretty quick because on the
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, especially if I had the PS4 Pro, because the back there's literally a notch that you could just take.
Oh,
you don't have to
and slip a
so you
piece
don't
in.
have- You don't
Okay.
have to take off anything.
I got you.
But anywho, so I was playing that, but I'm gonna wait till the PS5 to fully
Yeah,
enjoy
dude,
it.
I'm
how
still,
it's
I'm
meant to
spoiled
be.
already. I can never go back to playing
Oh.
games without an SSD, man. It's crazy. It's so fast.
Yeah,
Like
it's just like playing on a PC, dude.
it's like there's like a
it's
muscle
just-
memory to it, dude. Right? Like I feel like I still, even just a pinch, but especially when I was playing like Spider-Man Miles Morales, like that was the first game I kind of played on my PS5.
Yeah.
I would still have the feeling of like, nah, I'm just gonna swing to that spot. I'm not gonna fast travel there.
Yeah, you did it.
Because I wasn't thinking that I was still playing in like the old gen where I know that I'm probably going to get there faster swinging than just pressing the fast travel button. You know, like on Spider-Man, I would only fast travel if it was like really far away.
Yeah.
If it was like relatively close, I mean, it's pretty far, like it's like 1,500 meters or whatever. That's like pretty far, but I knew like me swinging as Spider-Man would get me there probably slightly faster than doing the fast travel and then swinging to the spot. And so I was
At least that's what you thought.
that kind of carried over to Miles Morales.
Did it?
Because like I was still, you know, my mind was still muscle memoried to remember that fast travel is a slow, clunky thing to do.
Right.
And it's still kind of there sometimes, like, but it's slowly, it's like diminishing away. Now I just like almost fast travel. Like, no, I'm fast traveling. No, I'm gonna fast travel.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
trying
I
to
think
condition myself to fast travel more.
I think I had tried it once, like when there was a fast travel, like when the fast travel started to open. And I tried it once, and I was, oh my god, this is so quick!
It's really
I'm
fast.
never
Yeah.
swinging again.
I know.
And when I had to
I
do
know,
the second
dude.
playthrough, when I had beat it the first time, and then I went to do the New Game Plus, I was like, shit, man, I gotta swing.
Yeah,
I gotta swing everywhere. Like there's no fast travel points open.
Yeah, dude. I
because I
kind
was
of
trying
think
to
with
do
me too.
everything like so early.
Like
you know
I
what mean?
started off swinging everywhere,
Yeah,
and then I tried fast traveling once.
and then you couldn't go back, man.
Yeah, then I couldn't go
It's
back.
like,
But it
the
was
hell
a
am I
good
gonna swing over
minute. It
there
was a
for?
good minute before like I decided to try fast traveling.
Hmm.
Because that's how we always play games. You don't really touch the fast travel unless you really have somewhere far to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're better off just swinging or riding your horse or whatever it is in the world that you move,
Yeah.
drive your car,
Right.
right? Like in GTA, I'm not fast traveling, man. Like that takes a minute, you know, to load in GTA. It has to be really far away for me to do that, rather just drive my car. But with the PS5, man, I'm fast traveling everywhere.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm putting it on the shelf because it's just gets a little tedious.
Yeah, Odyssey had nasty load times.
Especially
too.
when you got to go like raid all these places and you're constantly moving around. But anyways, I'm putting that on the shelf. So I downloaded the Dragon Quest Builders 2 demo a while ago, a couple weeks ago, because I wanted to play a builder game after playing Fallout.
Did you ever beat Fallout though?
I never beat it.
Man, you gotta cut that out, man. Go play that.
That's
go
a cool ending, man.
I know the story's really good. I want to go back and finish it. I still haven't installed. But anyways, I was playing Builders, and I liked the demo so much that I bought the full game. Okay. So it finally came in the mail. So
you bought it off of eBay again?
Yeah.
How much you get it for?
Like $6. So it
it
was
was
cheap.
like one of those like nobody bidded on it.
Correct. Correct. Also this week I got a sealed copy of Dragon Quest 11 for $5. No one bid against me.
$5?
Sealed, and it was like $3.95 for shipping. So out the door it was like almost $9.
That's a
Wasn't
long game,
Dragon
man.
Quest 11? Isn't that available free on something?
Nah.
Yeah, on Game Pass.
I don't think it's been maybe on Game Pass.
Yeah, it came out in December on
in
Game
regards
Pass.
to PlayStation.
Okay,
It's never been free.
I thought I saw it somewhere for free on something to check it out, but that's probably a good one. I loved Dragon Age.
It's a long game though.
I think I
man.
played Dragon Age 9 or something
Dragon
like that.
Quest 9?
Yeah, Dragon Quest, not Dragon Age, but Dragon Quest 9 on like my PlayStation, maybe my 3, maybe something like that. But I really enjoyed that game, so I should probably check out. 11.
Yeah, I love the Dragon Quest games. I know they used to be Dragon Warrior back in the day in the US, but I always played them on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advanced, Game Boy Color, especially the Dragon Quest Monsters. I used to love those games, kind of like Pokemon. But I just loved Dragon Quest a lot, to the point where a mobile game came out this week called Dragon Quest Tact. I've been hooked on that game.
Really?
So like you collect the different units, you level them up, and then you have like a storyline, and it has like an auto. Normally I don't like auto battle feature, but when you have to do some, when you want to grind and like level up your team, you can just like have it auto battle.
Yeah.
So I'm just like grinding the levels to level up.
Okay.
And then there's like free skip tickets, so you could skip a level and then you just get the loot and the EXP from it. If you did like a 3-star, like a perfect victory on it,
Is that game free though?
it's free.
Okay.
And it's cool because when you first start out, you get like 3,000 gems, which is like 29 bucks.
Yeah.
So you can get like 10 booster packs. And the cool thing about it is, for like, I guess for certain booster packs, you can re-roll your packs until you're satisfied with what you got. So for
But
like
it costs gems though, right?
the gem ones, yes, but it's the re-roll is free. Because normally, if you buy $30 worth of packs, you get to re-roll your packs until you're happy with them. But it's only when you pay for it.
That's a trip, dude.
So it's only when you pay your money.
I could see that happening. Like
So
some
not
of
the
the
free
games
gems?
have had a re-roll,
No.
but you had like a re-roll ticket or
No,
something
no, no.
like that.
If you
would
pay
expect.
money for the booster packs,
They let you re-roll
you
to
get to
each
re-roll.
one.
If
That's
you
cool.
if you
Interesting.
use the free gems, then you don't get a re-roll. So the first packs you get,
Look at him snap his phone.
hey, so the first
Wait, how long you gonna play this for though? Because if I try to download it so I can play
it's
it
single
with you-
player. It's single player only. So I don't
Oh,
know.
there's
Okay.
no guilds or nothing like that
No,
you can have?
not yet.
That's weird. Normally they have like, the mobile
Some
ones. They
type
have
of
like
social
a guild.
integration, yeah.
Some type of
I've been
social
playing it every day. I've been using all my. I've been hooked on it for the collecting features of it. But let me tell you.
You're on
So
a Dragon Quest kick here, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is you get to keep re-rolling. So for an hour and a half, I was re-rolling my packs.
For an hour and a
Because
Yo, you gotta stream those, man.
hour and a
You gotta stream those
dude,
pack
because
openings.
Yeah,
I wanted
dude.
all the top tier
For an
guys.
hour
I
and
wanted
a
all the
half,
top tier.
dude.
I wanted all the top tier.
So when you
Yeah.
got a top tier, then you move on to a new pack.
No, you do your
There
10
you
at
go,
once.
Dragon,
You do
Dragon
all
Quest
10.
Tact.
Dude, it's awesome, man.
I'm gonna check it out.
So yeah, so I got
I'll
like
be BSing on my phone for random little games and stuff. So
Dude, it's
it'll be
sick.
Cool. Check it out.
So
See
all
what-
right, here's the reason why it's sick. So you get your I'm just gonna call it you get your god tier team, right?
Okay.
All your S tiers is what they call it, right?
After
So,
you've
but that's the
re-rolled
thing. That's so
60,000 times.
crazy, man. Like you have no incentive to spend money anymore.
You do. So
Now,
I'll get to that.
like I don't know. So how they make money?
All right.
All right.
So you have your 10
All right,
packs.
all right,
So you get your 10 packs, so that gives you 10 creatures potentially. And let's
10
just
god tier triple S.
No, you have to spend real money to get the god tiers.
No.
No,
You
he
get
said
the
you
god
just
tiers.
keep rolling.
Oh, even
till
with
you
the
get
30
them.
they
So
give you.
the first one that they give you, they let you re-roll to show you a taste. Like if you spend money, this is how your experience is. You could just
Show
keep
you a
re-rolling and
taste.
re-rolling. So your
It
first
ain't a
one,
taste, man. That's game breaking.
so your first 10 packs, you can get the best.
That's the full meal.
You get the best
That ain't a
characters in the
taste,
game.
That's the full meal.
So
dude.
keep re-rolling till you get the best tiers. Keep in mind,
It's
it's
like going to the ice cream shop and you just like, can I try that flavor?
Oh,
Can I
here's
try
the
that
whole
one
entire
too?
bucket for you. Oh,
Ooh,
you
that
want to
was
you want
good,
to
but
taste?
like-
Huh? Let me give you the whole.
Yeah, I can't remember
was-
what that other one
Yeah,
tastes like. Can
that's
I
right.
try that
was
one more
good,
time?
man. And eventually you've eaten the whole container, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Though.
so it's very generous. It's like so generous the first 10 packs.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your like team. You look up online what's the best.
Very
You get your
generous.
best S tier team, right?
Okay, all right.
So then you're like, oh, this is cool. Let me just build up these guys. You can get weapons. You can get equipment for those guys. You level them up. You rank them up. It's like Pokemon. You want to teach them abilities, so you have different types. So when you fight enemies, you're always attacking them with their weakness.
Okay.
So it's really fun. But the piece that like unlocked something in my brain was when I ran out of stamina. I was doing all of the storyline quests.
Mm-hmm.
When you do storyline, it gives you new features like you can unlock like equipment dungeons, ability dungeons, EXP dungeons. But when you run out of stamina, which is like the points that you can play the game,
It's like the Facebook stuff where you gotta wait like
Yes.
A day,
6
you
hours
gotta
or something
recharge.
like that for
Yeah.
your time to come back.
So that's how they make money.
Or
You want
pay
to buy
for
the
it.
stamina, right?
so there's a whole nother thing that's free. There's a whole mode that's free. And I was like, whoa. So the free mode is called Battle Road. So it's themed by different types. So there's a slime battle road, there's an undead, a dragon. For each type of the game, there's a battle road, and the quests are themed for that type. So all your junk tier guys that you threw to the curb, you're like, I don't want all these like low, like weak, like S, C tier, F tier guys.
yeah.
You could only use the weak tier guys in these battle roads. So it gives you incentive, like, oh, I'm gonna level up every character I have. I probably
Yes.
have like 40 guys. So I'm not just leveling up my Uber team. I'm leveling up everything because I could progress all the battle roads and I could unlock cool abilities.
So
swirls.
you're saying while you're waiting for your stamina to recharge, you're playing the free mode.
Yes.
I
The
see.
piss ants.
I see.
And not only that, there's a event. There's like boss battles that are free. They're really hard, so you can keep trying to do the boss battles for free and unlocking cool stuff. And then there's like different events going on every like 2 months. So right now there's like a Dragon Quest 1 event. So you're like unlocking guys from Dragon Quest 1, like creatures,
That's cool.
and those are exclusive. So you get really cool like A rank. S tier is the best, but you can get A rank guys for free from this event that's going on, but it's limited. So
okay, so
it's
how are they making money?
they're making money because
They
they're
give you the S tier, and then they give you a mode to play while you're waiting for your S tier to unlock. So you don't need to buy stamina. You're still having fun. Where are they making money?
okay. So in order to max out the level of your guys, you're gonna need to get duplicates. You're gonna need to get 5 duplicates of each
how you
S
do it.
tier.
Mm.
So I have my base S tier, but if I want to max out their stats, it's called Awakening. I have to get them 5 times. So I'm gonna, but I've gotten I have like 13 or 14,000 gems.
So can you get like you can
Because
get like
you
a
get a lot of
low
gems
version
off
of
playing.
him, right?
You get the first version, and once you get him a second time,
No,
it
I'm saying is
awakens
like that's that hero you want.
Uh-huh.
Does it only come in S form, or
Correct.
can you get an F form?
it
and
only
level him
comes
up
in
to
one
S
form. It's like a
You
holographic.
can't get a C that you could boost up.
That's what
to
I'm
a S.
wondering.
No,
Okay.
whatever they are, that's what they are.
But you said you can boost a C up to an S in the free mode, right?
you can
No,
keep
he said
re-rolling.
You could just level it up. You could level your C up, right? So your C would be like level 65.
But it's a
But it's
C.
still gonna be a rank C.
But
Okay.
the
Monster
cool
or
thing
whatever.
too, the
I
cool
see.
thing is they require barely any materials to rank them up. Like the
they're so
S
shitty.
tiers, dude, I was like, how am I gonna rank up all my guys? But the C, the Fs, the Ds, the Bs, you could rank those up so quick, so easy, because they don't require any materials. So they make money when you get end game. You want to max out your team,
But in that mode, that free mode, don't you want to just play the highest tier you can play in that mode?
but it caps you because it's based on the theme.
Yeah.
So
he said like this, it's built for the
it's
lower
built
tier
for the
ones.
lower
So
tiers.
Right. So like
maybe your highest
if
tier
you
would
go
be like what the
C.
a
the
C
B or something.
So don't you want all your guys to just be seeds then? In that
probably.
mode?
Well, that mode tells you, hey, there's 10 guys that you can use in this mode. If you don't have them, it tells you what like maps you have to go grind out to get them. So a lot of them, like you get the guys from the story. So they're like low tier.
Oh, so it's a
It tells you a pool. It's like
a various rank skill party.
Yeah, it said only these guys are eligible for.
So like
this
one's
type.
a C, one's a D, one's an F, one's a B. And you guys just
Correct.
okay, I got you.
Exactly.
And then you could do that.
But none of them are
okay.
Fs or none of them are S or A's. So you actually have a reason to level up all your crap guys. You know, like commons and Yu-Gi-Oh.
So you can
they
do
just
those
sit in a
zones.
box.
And then what do you get for beating those zones?
Yeah.
you
those
get
free zones?
you get abilities. So you get exclusive abilities. You could teach your guys. You get weapons. and you
Wait,
get
are
gems.
they abilities that you can teach the shitty guys? Or
That's
your-
what I'm
your
wondering, yeah, I was
S-rank
S
guys?
tiers.
Okay.
Because your
Oh,
shitty
okay.
guys only learn like 1 or 2 abilities. But
so your crap guys are grinding for your S tier guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're slaves.
So
Okay.
it's
So
a
they're
fun game, dude.
slaves.
It's a sick game, dude.
Hey, get
They're
out
peasants.
there. You
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And you bring me back something
Your little
good.
serfs.
Yeah, so try it out. Like last night, I was like number
Give me something
24,000 in the world. But anyways, it's an awesome game, dude. Play it.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm
pretty
gonna try it out. I'm gonna download it because you got.
you've hyped it up,
iOS,
man. So
Yeah, let's try it.
you're gonna have the whole audience playing that game, dude. Hey, what's up?
It's
What
single
you been
player
doing,
only.
Bobby?
Just remember. So it's single player, but it's
Yeah.
cool because it plays for you. I like it.
That's kind of a bummer though. I mean, even if you didn't have like any PvP or whatever, it'd be kind of cool if you.
So
if
there
you had
is-
like a trade system.
There
or
is a
something
little
like
thing that says like duel or verse arena, and it's
Uh-huh.
like it says coming soon. So that might be PvP. But the
Okay.
game came out in Japan first in June or July,
Yeah.
and then I guess it did really well. So they just brought it last week to international.
Oh, so it's brand new then.
Correct. It just came out last week.
But the cool thing about with some of these games, like I like to try to jump on some of these like social, like the phone games and stuff, because
Mhm.
sometimes they have like a tier, and then like you can be at like the top of the leaderboards or whatever if it's like brand new, and you put
Yeah,
in
I'm
enough
number
time.
24,000 in the world right now.
So you put 1,000, you getting up there, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm getting up
man.
there.
So there's
Yeah,
probably hundreds
but-
of thousands to millions of players.
Yeah, but there was like a couple of games that you randomly be on like Instagram or whatever, and then they advertising it, and then you like it's like a pre-order, but some of the games aren't really like
That's how I found out about it on Instagram.
Oh, did
So it
you?
must be using my cash and cookies and crap because
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait, this
It's
game
all
just
you
came
get
out?
Well,
Dragon
now
Quest.
you're gonna
That's how
have
you
like
buy
a whole
Dragon
bunch
Quest
of
on
posts
eBay,
of Dragon
right?
Quest
Yeah.
because we've been talking about it near our phones, and
Oh,
we're tapped.
should've turned it
but-
off.
It's listening to us.
Yeah.
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 Didn't they say they proved that or something like that? That it's listening to. They
Oh, that's
think?
for certain, dude. There's like way too many coincidences.
No, I know that it's tracking you. I know that, but
but it's besides our
yeah, it's
cookies
just it's
getting
not
tracked.
like it's not confirmed, but it's heavily believed. Yeah.
especially if you got Siri on. That bitch
Yeah.
listening to everything.
Yeah.
So,
But, yeah.
anyways, that's what I've been playing, man. So give it a
Okay.
try. So, what about you, Godly Sovereign?
I was a little preoccupied with some stuff this weekend, so I didn't really get to play too much. I did watch my father-in-law play some Valhalla.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was like, helping
Are you
him
more
through
You're
some
more
of the
powerful
stuff.
than him, right?
Yeah, because I've done a
Yeah,
little bit more
yeah.
stuff. But I
Showing
told
him the
you,
way?
I told you that this guy literally did like
Everything in the
like
first zone.
what I was doing, but like tenfold. Like, yeah, he eradicated everything in the first zone in Norway.
Damn.
And then he went over to England eventually when I told him, like, dude, you
Right.
gotta go to England and be able
That's
to
when the game
assassinate
starts, yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, just
So-
go right back if you want, but
Right,
get
so he
your
got to-
blades, man.
He got to England and all that stuff. Dude, this guy has like almost like 15 pieces of mythical gear. So like
Damn.
he had like I had checked with him not this weekend, but last weekend I had checked with him. He had like over 9,000 iron.
Holy cow.
And then like almost like 6,000. No, he had 9,000 leather and he had like 6,000 plus iron ore that he had. So
Damn.
he was just out there roaming around just
Yeah, but you
constantly
need to get the
scooping stuff.
nickel and the tungsten and stuff in order to level it up to the next tier.
At the same time, when you're out there and you bust open those little
Yeah.
hills or whatever for the iron ore, sometimes titanium is in there. He had 600 plus titanium just in his
Not
in his
titanium. I'm talking about the nickel
Yeah, he
and
had
the copper
like I
and the
don't.
tungsten.
So
You know what
you're
I'm talking about?
the bars. You're
The
talking about the
ingots.
bars and
Yeah,
stuff?
the
Yes.
ingots.
He had a lot.
You don't
of
get that
stuff.
from the
You
rocks.
get that normally from the raiding.
You get that from chests, from opening chests,
yeah, like when you raid
or
when you,
killing
No,
certain.
but you need.
You know
that
when you're
stuff
like on your
to
map and you see the
upgrade.
little gold,
gold
bar
bar,
symbol?
yeah, yeah.
That's when you get those
Yeah.
pieces. That's the only way you get them.
But you need that to like upgrade in your blacksmith.
No, you need that to move it from like
one quality to
You're
the
so-
next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
quality to the next. So it's the only way you can get it to mythic.
Right, but I'm saying this guy went into the world and found a
And got
bunch
all
of
of them.
mythical items already there, and then top leveled those up.
Oh, they were
Just
already
using the
mythical.
time- Yeah,
you don't find
so-
them that way. He must have got them on the store then.
No, you can find items that are mythical.
I've never found a mythical items
I haven't
straight
yet.
up.
I haven't yet either.
So that's
But
what I'm
there
saying.
are
How is he
some-
finding
there
them?
are
Especially if
items
he's
that are out
lower
there
level than
mythical.
you.
Though, well, there are items that are mythical that are out there, and they were in like
Not in the
first
starting
zone
zones,
areas
right?
that we've been in. There are some. So I was looking at some videos about some weapons that were like really good to get,
Yeah.
and they were like in a lot of the areas that I've been by, but just didn't.
I know.
search
I was
and
looking
find
at
that
those too,
stuff.
and every time they show where they got them, they didn't start off mythical though.
Well, I'll have to go like because there's some that I was gonna search for and find. So if I find some,
They
I'll
weren't
let you know
legendary
if I
weapons.
found
They were
some.
just in the top 10 weapons or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And there might be like a spear or like the 200 swords, and they all were found at base level
Okay.
or like the copper level or whatever,
Yeah,
the
well-
quality level or whatever.
I mean, I know that he hasn't done much raiding. I do know that, and because he doesn't have his town up that high, he doesn't have
Right.
those resources, and that's the only way you get those resources
Yeah.
is by raiding. So if he didn't have the capacity to raid, he found those items throughout the world in some other way besides
Yeah,
opening.
you
chests
also
and
buy
different
when you
things
buy
like that.
them.
You find-
When you
you find
buy
copper
them,
in
they
chests.
come maxed.
When you buy
But
them.
when you buy them, they come maxed mythical
When you buy the weapons
from the store.
But he wasn't doing opal buys. If that's what
No,
you're
no,
talking
not opal buys. If you go like to the UB store,
Mm-hmm.
you can buy literally. You can pay to win.
about. Okay, yeah, nah, those
can
weren't
buy
those weapons.
those.
It wasn't those weapons. It
But
was-
some of those weapons in the pay to win, you get in the world too.
Okay. Yeah,
They're
but
not exclusive to pay to win.
So I was looking at like all of his stuff. Like he had 2 mythical spears, and he's only a power level now of like 80. So
Yeah, I
like,
don't see how that could be possible unless you bought them.
right. Well, he didn't buy them. I know he didn't buy them, but he says he found them all.
That first spear that you find in that zone is not mythical. That one that you fought with that guy, it's not mythical.
The lowest tier, and then you could wait. The Amazon is it the stuff we got from Amazon? Is that considered mythical?
Yeah.
Yes, but he
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have that stuff.
Oh,
He doesn't
okay.
have the Carolingian.
Gotcha.
He has the
armor.
other one that you get from the starting zone.
What other one?
That from that guy probably.
I
in
don't
the
know what the
cave.
name of that spear is.
It's
so
like
I couldn't tell you.
Fafnir's spear or something.
Okay, I don't think it was Fafnir, but I think it was something a Fang or something like that.
Oh
It
no
was
no
one
no!
of
Sorry,
them.
you kill Fafnir and you get the Fang one. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So
that's
that doesn't drop mythical.
But I'm saying he
He
had a
ranked it up.
bunch of stuff.
But you said he had
So,
that mythical though.
Yeah, when I talked to him and I looked at his set,
Yeah.
he had like over like 12, 15 pieces of mythical gear.
Damn.
But the dude is an 80. I don't believe that he spent any money on it. He would have told me if he
Right.
bought it off of
Right,
the thing.
right,
right.
He says he found everything.
But you
But
can't
I'm
find that
telling
mythical.
all of that
You don't find the
stuff-
thing mythical.
All
but
of that
he probably
stuff
just ranked
that
it
he
up because
found.
if he like he's saying he's like leaving no rock.
Are you going
unturned,
into the 240?
He must be exploring
You
everything.
can't get the
and-
tungsten though unless you go in the 240 zones.
Probably did.
You can't get it.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
possible.
Like I said, I don't know how, right? But he literally would go into the game. He found a mythical weapon. He had a mythical weapon that was like a spear because I was trying to tell him the trick that you had told me.
Yeah,
We're
dual
going in
spears.
and getting the dual
Yeah.
heavies and all that, getting the brush with death,
Mm-hmm.
getting 2 spears. He had one mythical spear and he had a mythical 2-handed axe that he was using, but he was just jabbing. I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
you gotta-
what you doing, man? You,
you
gotta
gotta
put
line
that
'em up.
spear in your
Yeah.
second hand because you're gonna attack way quicker.
Yeah, you want to
'Cause they're
line
just
up
doing
the
two different
types.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
you want to either do 2 beardeds or 2 spears or 2 of the same
Right,
types.
in order to
yeah.
get those special
yeah, the combos.
abilities
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. So he pulled out, he went to his inventory. I was like, let me see your inventory. He goes in there. I was like, dude, you got another spear right there. It was another mythical spear that was at its lowest. It was a mythical, but it was at its lowest bar. He just juiced it up all the way to max because he had all of that material. And then he just equipped it and then just started using it. And I was like, do you see like how much better that is? Like how quicker you are? He was just wrecking. But he was only a power level 80.
Yeah, that's not adding up, but yeah.
He was doing a lot.
I don't know because you can't find the necessary materials to get to mythic if you're not going in. If you just can't. They don't exist.
Yeah, I mean, he could have very well.
you have to
been
go into
in
the
all
high
of
level
those
zones
areas.
to get those things.
He was telling me that all he's been doing is just running around and searching. So I mean,
didn't.
if
I
you
didn't
if you're
know that
constantly
Amazon.
avoiding,
I thought the stuff we got on Amazon. I thought we could like put the quality? I thought it was just like one rank above the base. No.
No, it's
No,
the
it is
Oh, it's the
mythical
best?
Yeah,
max.
you cannot. You
Okay.
It's
cannot
not,
upgrade
but
that
the
at a
little
blacksmith.
upgrade squares are not filled in.
No.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you
those are
need
what
the
take all that
materials. He just
material.
juiced it up. That I can see because you can get all those just exploring the world, even
Yeah.
where he's at. I can see him having thousands of those,
But
but
you
it's
just
getting
can't
the
see that
ingots.
there's a
The
mythical-
ingots, I can understand. Yeah, I can't see because it's, for instance, I've opened tons of chests too, and in high level zones, and I've never, not once, opened a chest and got or killed a guy and got the mythical variant of the item. I always
Well, all
have to
of
use
these
the
would be
upgrade
the
material
assassin-
to upgrade it.
The assassin body. That's what all these pieces would be coming from. It's
The
those
what?
those when you go to like the question mark dudes that are on the map and you ask for like where's the piece of gear at, and then the assassin shape, you know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
assassin
The hood.
character thing,
Yeah.
Right.
pops up on the map. That's where all of these pieces would be at. That's where all of the gear pieces are at. But there's like
find
every
gear
now and
pieces
again,
in
you'll find
chests.
a mythical one. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you know, there's plenty of gold dots out there in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm not just
But
talking
when
gold.
you go
yeah.
to the actual
gold
the
dots.
bodies, the assassin bodies, those are the pieces of gear that
Right.
you'll actually
Those
find.
no, those are not ever.
Not all of them
mythical.
are mythical, but I
I've
do
never
believe
found a
that there
mythical
are
one
some.
before.
I haven't either.
I know.
And I've played it
A
less
lot.
than you, but I've played it quite a bit. But
Isn't that-
apparently,
isn't
there
that-
are some out there. There's no way that they could not have at least one piece of mythical gear. It gotta be.
That's what I kept
something out
complaining about week after week. I said
That
I
we
wish,
weren't able to
yeah,
find
that I
some
wish
stuff.
that there was some actual gear that was legendary in the world because
Right.
I've opened up tons. I've opened up the assassin body figure, the chest body figures, and everything I've ever opened or every item I've ever got from killing somebody that I earned has always been the base level, like not like gray but brown.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to blue, and then I have to go to mystical. I never even got a weapon at blue before. I've never even found a weapon at blue before. And the only way you can upgrade it is by getting the ingots, not just the minerals and the titanium, but the ingots.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you can get the ingots is by going into certain zones.
Yeah. Yeah, I found some of those ingots, but I never had the desire to rank anything because all my gear was
We already had everything in
Amazon stuff.
mythical.
So I was just like, oh, I just threw
Yeah.
the low quality spear in my offhand, and that was good enough.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
I only played it for 10
Yeah.
hours, so
Yeah,
I
I'm
wasn't-
gonna try to search for some stuff. If I can find like any of the pieces of gear or
Shoot it
whatever,
to me.
then I'll shoot them
Yeah.
to you so that you can find them too.
Yeah.
I ask him every time like, yo, where you get this from? Because I'm like looking for
He's just
mythical
like, I'm just
gear,
exploring,
but I
right?
can't
I'm just
find
exploring,
them.
yeah,
And he's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just opened up a chest or
Dang.
whatever. and,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
see,
and I
whenever I
haven't
open
found
up
it.
a
So,
chest that's never been mythical.
I
Yeah.
haven't either, but like I see some of the weapons that's supposed to be like some of the best ones or whatever, and I watch those videos, but I never like looked at it to see, oh, is it mythical or
Yeah.
whatever. There's like a scald death bow or something that I heard is like one of the best bows because it has like a huge crit on it that you can get, and you can just keep adding like crit runes.
Yeah,
to it.
whenever I watch
there's
like
some-
a
there's some
video,
stuff.
whenever I watch a video and they show the top 10 weapons, they're always in mythical form.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go watch the video on how to find the weapon
Uh-huh.
and you watch that tutorial and they go find it, it always starts off at the brown quality,
Yeah.
which is fine or whatever.
So
fine gear or
what I'll
whatever.
probably do is I'll probably hit him up and ask him to take a picture of his inventory for the weapons that he does have,
Uh-huh.
and then see if I can find the locations
find those
of
locations,
weapons to
yeah.
see if they are at
Mythical
that.
when you find
now,
them. Yeah.
I like I said, I didn't watch. I've only watched some of his gameplay. When he was playing this
Yeah.
weekend, he was in Asgard, so I'd already
Oh,
seen all
okay.
of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I don't know how he's traversing these other areas if he
Because
is traversing
you-
240s
and also,
360s.
you burnt out Asgard and you didn't find no mythical gear.
No,
you
not-
opened up
not a one.
everything. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get the last treasure behind the thing, which I told him to do, and he was able to walk in there. So it is some stupid glitch that's on there
Okay.
because he was able to walk in there, go open up the chest,
course,
and then
right?
be out. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is literally the one thing that I
I
don't
couldn't
have.
do. And what
and
did
I
he get in
can't
the
get.
chest? Like a weapon
It was
or
just
something?
a Ymir tier. That's all it was.
Oh, just a tier?
Yeah, it was that
Okay.
last
I got
tier
you.
that I
I got
needed
you.
in order to be able to drop it in the well
I got you.
and whatnot. But yeah, so he hasn't done Jotunheim yet. There's like you haven't done
No,
Jotunheim
I
yet.
haven't done Jotunheim yet.
There's like a bear in there that's like, why is it in there? Like, you know, Jotunheim is probably considered like a power level 180, maybe 2
Uh-huh.
something. But that bear is 400.
Damn.
And when I
So is
went
that the
in
max?
there, I saw it and it just comes up as like that spiral
Mhm.
star thing or whatever. And I went in there
I'm gonna
and then
fight
all
him,
of a
right?
sudden this bear wakes up, and then I look, and the top of the screen says power level 400. And I was like, dude, why? Like,
Is that the max you can get?
That's
Huh?
max.
Is that max?
That's the
I
max. Yeah,
guess
that's the
I don't
max.
know, but I was able to
Yeah.
work it down to like halfway
Dang.
with my spears and my bow.
'Cause
But I need a
OP-ness.
better bow, and
But
then
yeah, even that
there's
wasn't
not
strong
a
enough.
solid.
He probably hit
weakness.
you really hard though, right?
Yeah, he hits hard,
Yeah.
dude.
So you're doing good damage, but he hits extra hard.
the
That's what
problem
makes it hard
is-
is they just hit you too hard.
Yeah, the problem is you have to be like superior at like dodging.
Yeah.
If you can dodge everything that he's coming at you with, you won't get touched, and then you can
Right.
hit him. But I get
If you get-
greedy with
But
like
if you make
extra
one
swipe or
mistake, you're
something.
screwed. That's what's so
Yeah,
hard about
he
those
has, like,
fights.
this
If you
quick
make
little
one
swipe,
mistake,
and it'll take like
Yeah.
90% of your life.
Yeah.
And then you got to hit the health button, and then my rations are only at like a max of like 4 now because it
Yeah,
takes
that's what
so much to gain.
that's what
to
was
gain
happening when I
rations.
was fighting against like
All those high
guys that are
tiers.
higher level than me. It's like, okay, I'm dodging and I'm chalking them down and I'm getting them.
Make
But
one
the thing is that
mistake or
you
two.
make one mistake, they kill you almost. And it's
Yeah.
like, I just need a little more survivability. If I just have a little bit more survivability, I can do this.
Like 1 or 2
But-
more ration pouches.
Yeah,
and
just
I'd be
or
able
just
to
I
last
could take a
little
hit
bit
or
longer.
two. I actually take a hit or two,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something, But yeah, that's the thing. It's like for some reason they let your weapons do like their good damage even on high level creatures,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't take hits from them. So that's what makes it like interesting. Like in a lot of games, if someone's high level than you can't really even do damage to
Can't
them.
even
either.
Yeah, they're not even.
But they
feeling
actually let you do your damage to these guys. But if they touch you, they hurting
Yeah.
you bad,
Yeah.
So they become like really impossible.
Yeah, for sure. And so I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like at the halfway mark for like my bows. Like I really enjoy the Predator bow, but at the same time, I like the light bow because of how many shots you get. Like
I
my
use the
Predator
one in the
bow
middle.
is,
I use the
like,
hunter
limited-
bow.
My Predator bow is limited to like 9 or 10, arrows,
Yeah.
but my light bow gives me like 27. So
But
but
you
it's
can't zoom
less
in,
damage.
right? You can't zoom in either with
No,
it,
with
right?
your light bow you can zoom in, but your Predator bow you can't. Or actually, maybe
No,
it's
your
vice
predator
versa.
bow you
Maybe
zoom
with your
in, but
Predator,
the light
can
bow you
zoom
don't.
in, but
The
yeah.
light bow seems like a shotgun,
Yeah.
like
Just quick.
where I
can
like
spray,
the
you
hunter
can-
because it's more middle of the road. So I can zoom in somewhat, and I can do like headshots on people with
Yeah.
my hunter bow, which I wasn't really able to do that with the light bow. And then I can still do some shooting close up with
Some
the
fast
hunter
shooting?
bow, but not as fast as the light.
Right.
But I can do it.
right.
So I kind of like the balance. So I've always stuck with the hunter bow.
Yeah, I kind of want
And I
to
didn't like the Predator bow
maneuver
as
through
much.
the bow tree a little bit and see
See
if
what
there's
you can
like
get.
any like hunter bow things. But I have to see. I think the death scald bow that I said was supposed to be like the best bow in the game is like a light bow.
What level are you
Oh.
now?
think I
My
have
power
that bow.
level is probably like 130 or something
Okay.
like that. Like not too crazy.
I think I have that bow, the one you're talking
the
about.
death scald.
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay, yeah, it's
But
got a.
I didn't
check
use it
out.
because it's a light bow, and I don't like light bows. But
yeah, it's got like a crit of like 20% or something like that
Oh,
on
wow,
it, and
that's
then
nice.
you can add.
So you think you
the
just kind of melt
runes.
through some guys then, huh?
Yeah, I mean you can
okay.
add like a crit chance and then a crit damage rune, and I still have yet to find any diamond.
Yeah, I haven't found
Oh,
a
yeah.
diamond
I never
either.
found one either.
Runes, so it's just like those.
I wonder where
things
you
that-
get those. Are those? Do you gotta buy
know,
those?
man.
Or
Yeah,
something?
they
Yeah,
say
man.
zealots, man. They say
Oh,
that
zealots?
you can find them
Oh,
through
really?
zealots or like
I've killed
randomly
every
in
zealot I
chests.
find. Every one I come across, I kill it. And I don't think I've gotten one yet. So,
I haven't
don't
either.
know.
So it must be in like the later areas. I don't know if there's
Probably.
like another area besides.
Maybe that bear
England.
drops one.
Bear drops
Who
one.
knows, dude?
You got to
It
kill a
sh-
400 creature to
It
find the
should
good one.
definitely drop something.
The game's over. Like you finally hit level 400, you're like done with the game. Okay, now I get a diamond.
Time for new game plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's all I've been doing is watching that or whatever, and then
Nice.
hopefully I'll be able to play some before this weekend's over. But yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty chill. But yeah, man, did you guys you hear that little news that was coming around? Some inkling about like the PS5 selling their consoles at a loss.
Yeah.
Quite a significant loss, I think. Maybe like a couple hundred.
We weren't given the
less
exact
than-
numbers,
Yeah.
right, Mark?
We
but
weren't
we know
given-
it's definitely a loss for
Correct.
both, I think.
Yeah. So this is
for,
one.
for Xbox and for PlayStation 5.
And for the disc and discless.
Yep.
Yeah.
For all of them. This is one thing, we talked about before. Like, can we build a PC that's comparable for the same price? And the answer was no.
Right. We
You
couldn't
know,
come up
and
with
not a
anything.
knock.
And you were
on
racking
either.
your brain. You were trying to make it work, and it was just like,
Yeah,
there's
it
no
wasn't
way.
a knock
Yeah,
at anything.
There was no way to do
but
it.
It was
yeah.
just we're just comparing, and it wasn't possible. And this makes complete sense. I mean, it's not even possible for them. to build it for
keep
$500.
producing them.
They can't even build it for 500.
Yeah.
So hey,
Yeah.
it's not a knock on any of us here.
Yeah.
They're just selling at a loss, just like the PS3 sold at a loss. You know, in 2-3 years, can we build a PC for the same price? Probably.
In 2-3
But
years, yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
not even Sony can build a comparable thing for $500. So
Right, and they kind of like, it seems like they kind of stretch themselves, right? They put all this stuff together and everything, and they're like, okay, this is the unit. All right, now we need to make them, and then it's like, oh damn, we can't produce as many as we've been advertising for. So now everybody is just like, you know, hurting trying to get them out there. I mean, obviously they were able to produce quite a bit, right? But we got these scalping bastards who
got the
have
scalpers.
poached like so many. So you know, the normal average consumer hasn't really been able to enjoy it. But you know, if it was probably a bit cheaper, they would have been able to flood the market so much that it wouldn't have been profitable for scalpers.
Right.
But
Yeah, this is why I'm always confused, like, because you mentioned too that happened with PS3. That they sold. I knew they sold that one at a loss, and that one was like $600 bucks.
that was
on
the first time
launch.
they had introduced
And that's
Blu-ray.
back in 2003, I
right?
think, right?
2003,
Yeah, that was the first one that had
2004.
Blu-ray. Like, that's an expensive
And
console.
the
Your
actual
money didn't go
Blu-ray
as far as
player
It had
was like
two
more
discs,
than the
right?
console.
Well,
Or it had two units inside.
It had
It
two
had two
lasers.
eyes.
Had two lasers in there.
Oh, okay.
It had the Blu-ray laser and the red laser. So yeah, that was like, and it had like this cell technology too. Like it was this, you know, proprietary processor
Which after
that, you know, made it expensive.
Which didn't after like a year and a half or so, they came out with the PS3 like Slim or something that had the minus the extra laser.
Yeah.
I thought it was they had the
The
fat.
extra laser, I think, was
then-
for SCAD audio. Anyways,
Okay.
I thought they had the fat, and then they had a fat 2.0 that was minus the
the
PS3.
SCAD audio.
maybe they
Yeah,
did.
the
Yeah.
minus those components, and then they went to the slim, and I think at the slim they were selling for a profit at that time.
Yeah, they were.
So-
When they got the Slim. But I remember the original, because the original PS3, it played Blu-rays, it played DVDs, it played games, and it played SCAD audio. And that's the high definition audio, just 2-channel though.
The
So
one that
stereo
didn't really
audio.
last that long.
That was competing with DVD audio for high definition audio. But people weren't buying even CDs anymore. So
Yeah.
why are people going to buy SCAD discs and HD DVD audio discs? My dad was an audiophile, so my dad really was pumped about the PS3. Like my dad was super pumped about the PS3
Yeah, I remember.
because it would do all his media. You know, he would play his CDs, it would play his DVD, it would play his SCADs,
Damn.
and it really sounds really dope. Like the high definition audio sounds really dope, but they don't even make those discs anymore. So you can buy them from people who already own them on eBay, right? But they don't even make them anymore because it's gone. Everyone's MP3s now.
Are there
But
like high prices for those things? Like, have you
I don't
checked?
know. That's a great question. I don't know if like they're
To
like
see if
so
they're, like,
rare that
yeah.
they're like, you know, collector items now.
Yeah.
But my dad has a few too, like in his collection. Like I'm sure they might be worth something. I don't know. But they released another one that dropped that second laser, so it still played Blu-rays, right?
Right.
Because the games are Blu-rays, but it no longer could do SCAD, you know, audio. But it didn't matter because no one was utilizing that. Like, what is my dad? Probably not even 1% of the market, you know.
But it did make that original PS3 a
Very
little bit
special.
more valuable.
Yeah, it was a very special
Because of
system.
that.
It was a great system.
Yeah.
But what I don't get, what blows me away is why I don't know why they even launch a new console generation, because on the PS4 I think it's like almost 80 million purchase sales on the PS4. Or I think it might be like over 100 million. It's like a huge amount of install base.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to transition to a PS5 and have they have like almost 5 million now and sell games on that? Whenever you produce a game for your PS4, you have way more opportunities for like tens of millions of sales versus like, I think Spider-Man Morales sold like 4.5 million, they said. But like, and that was on across both, but you could have probably just sold that and got that same amount of sales on your PS4
And not
even
extra
had to have
hardware.
the PS5. Yeah. Like, I don't understand the, and if they're selling it at a loss too, like what is the I don't know. What's the benefit you guys think, you know,
Yeah, I
of
don't
a new console generation?
I don't know
hype.
exactly what the benefit would be of selling at a loss, except to get maybe people to abandon their old consoles that they've had.
But
like,
why? You just
if
make the
you-
games for the old consoles.
But at the same time, right? Like there's obviously like hundreds of thousands of people that just had a PS4. They didn't even upgrade to the Pro yet. And they're sitting there on those old gens, you know, playing these games and stuff, and they're getting punished by it, you know, because like, you know, Cyberpunk, for instance, you know, so maybe it was just a way to like, hey, there's a new gen console, maybe you guys from PS4 might finally want to upgrade, to get one of these other ones because those consoles have already been sold. So
But
they're getting
why?
money for selling again. But
They could just
I
still
don't
buy
know,
the games
maybe
on the
for the,
PS4. Why would they want to upgrade?
Well,
maybe the allure of something new.
What
it's-
benefit is it for Sony? I mean,
it's for them to stay, relevant in the market. Like, let's say Microsoft, right, made the Xbox Series X,
Which they
and
did talk about it before, right?
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
the first ones to announce a new gen.
so if they have an SSD and all these specs for Sony to be relevant, they have to stay, up modern with the times.
it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, so for instance, like with graphics card, Nvidia isn't selling their graphics cards at a loss,
I don't believe no.
right? So like they have an incentive to constantly improve your performance because every time they do, they get a sell from you. So
But-
what is Sony getting?
but-
They improved our performance. We get lots of benefits. We
Yeah.
get
But
all
it's
these
this.
improvements, but what did they get?
But the
That's
thing
fair.
is, like a graphics card, they don't have a marketplace. Like that's their one revenue channel. When we have, it's like when you go from Verizon.
But you have a
and-
marketplace on the PS4 as well. Why do you
I know,
need the
I
PS5
know.
marketplace?
It's just you broaden your audience. So people who maybe didn't have a PS4, it's just you're broadening your marketplace, and you're staying relevant with the times.
I don't see how it's broadening your marketplace. Because I just
Because there's
think,
a lot
like,
of people. There's a lot of people who are Xbox fanboys who
Right.
switched over. Like, ooh, this PS5, man, this thing is solid. So they
that
brought in
seems
some new
tiny
customers.
though, dude.
I would say a good amount of people. I mean,
I don't
You know?
think so. I think the vast
Every
majority of
Xbox
people are
player
like
that
us.
I know had just upgraded their
Yeah,
Xbox.
that's
They
what I'm
haven't
saying.
even done
I think the vast
PlayStation 5.
majority, and same with us. I think the vast majority of people are just like us. We're PS4 owners. We buy a PS5.
You
And
stay
if
on
you
the
didn't
same
own a
page.
PS4,
Plus you got your old
you
games.
might buy a PS5. But if that's the person you're targeting, just sell them a PS4. Like, why sell them a PS5? If you're trying to grab hold of the guy who is not in part of the console world yet, sell him a PS4. Why are you trying to sell him a PS5? I don't understand the point.
What I don't get is why didn't we just get like why haven't we gotten a modular console by now? Like why haven't we gotten something that's equivalent to a PC where you could just create a new part at price for what it is
just pop it in.
Yeah.
and then just remove this
I
and
know.
put
There's
that
something
in.
about the console notion that these companies cling to.
But one thing too in that article,
I don't know. It's weird.
It says that they're holding the price, very close, and the reason why they're selling it at this price was to say competitive in the market.
Of course.
So
That's what I'm saying. So
Oh.
then why do they even launch a system they were trying to stay competitive at the price, so the PS5 would sell, right? Like if they priced it above the Xbox Series X, it wouldn't sell as well. Like because they would probably have to go $700, I would think, to even make a little bit of money,
because dude, think about this.
right? If they're at a loss at 500, then at what point in time are they making money? And then what point in time are they making decent money?
So I would say it's the trade off. They lose a little money to stay the major platform, because Xbox 360 was more popular than PS3 when they released it with that stupid Connect, and it was $100 more. And also they did a couple other things that were not favorable to the customers. Xbox lost the market, and everyone went to PlayStation. So I think they did this to maintain the market, to have the most players, and to bank on the future. We're gonna get a return because people are gonna be buying games from the market. We'll get
Maybe
cuts.
but PlayStation 3 didn't become popular and start stealing 360 users until the games got good. I don't know. I just think it's the games that drive market share more so than the systems.
Do you perhaps think that it could have been something with like customer loyalty, like for
just keeping
instance-
customers happy or something?
For instance, yeah, like there could be like some reason why you might want to get an Xbox or something like that, but PlayStation is willing to give you this super fast SSD or whatever for around the same price that you could get the Xbox, and you already know we're producing great games, so stick with us. And then maybe down the line we drop like a PSVR 2 headset. You might be inclined to get that because your systems work so great. And the other thing, and maybe the VR system is a little bit overpriced for what it is worth, or maybe it's at market price and they're getting it or whatever, or maybe it's just something like there's this extra speed, so maybe because things are so fast and I'm able to move between so many things, maybe I'll go ahead and get that PS Plus subscription, or maybe I'll buy some more digital games or something like that. Just cause
yeah, that just
I
seems
get
like
it
an
at my
arb.
fingertips.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but
Yeah,
that's
it might be
something.
small.
I'm just wondering if there's like, I don't know. I think there's probably some truth to what you're saying. They're just trying to stay relevant in the market. But when you have 100-something users, I think producing games is what's really going to make you money. You know, like when they produced The Last of Us, when they produced Ghost of Tsushima, those games sold huge amounts, 20s, tens of millions of copies. You couldn't even do that on the PS5 because there's not enough, install base yet. Right? So why abandon? It's weird to abandon that. You're not abandoning it, but you're kind of abandoning it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can't add it up.
I do think that if you look at, like the Xbox, Project X or whatever, the Scorpion or whatever, the One X, all that stuff. Like, I don't know if the One X was performing as good as the PS4 Pro, or if it was performing a little bit better. Was it performing? It was better
according
to the Scorpio. Yeah. Oh, the One X.
The One X was the
Pro.
Yes,
it was better than the Pro. It was better than the Pro.
So
by a good chunk too.
Like if you've got like a game system that's a little bit better than your competitor's top tier, and then you decide that you're going to come out with another game system that's even better than your top tier, like maybe it was just forcing PlayStation's hand to like, okay, well, we were working on this and we were going to hold this out like,
I just think Nintendo throws that out. I think Nintendo's model just stores that notion. Like Nintendo
is also in its own like bracket. It's on its own league. Yeah. Like nobody's fucking with Nintendo.
I know.
Nobody touches that.
But why? Because their games are good. It's not the hardware, it's the games that matter.
Yeah, the games are there, but it's also got the mobile aspect. Like nobody's touching a mobile aspect besides Nintendo.
Because they're games.
Also, your system is bottlenecked a little bit on your hardware. I mean, so according to CD Projekt Red, this whole cyberpunk issue. Yeah. So they're able to make better games over time.
Absolutely. It's benefit for us. Yes. I'm saying, we enjoy the benefit. We get better quality games, but what benefit is it to Sony?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get better quality games, but we would still buy games, regardless if they're... I mean, people buy Nintendo games all the time, and they're nowhere near as quality as CD Projekt Red games, right?
So I used to work at Staples in 2008. We had all the prices on everything.
I mean, people just spent tons of money on Animal Crossing. There's nothing spectacular graphically about that game.
So we had all the prices on how much we buy things and how much we sell things for. Mm-hmm. The profit on the laptops was 1 penny or 0. Staples made nothing on a laptop.
They wanted to sell you Microsoft Windows and
they
stuff.
They make everything on the accessories.
Right.
So it's the same thing for PlayStation. They're going to sell you controllers, games, services.
I know, but that's my whole point. You have 110 million people to sell it to. You already have people to sell software to. Why do I need to bring out a new?
But they're already selling software to them. Now they're going to sell it to them again.
No, you're selling it to the same exact people though.
Yeah, again, how many times are you going to buy a controller? You're only going to buy a extra controller once for the PlayStation 4. If you introduce something new, now you're going to get the revenue when they buy the new accessory.
Yeah, but they make the majority of their money on software, not hardware. Like that's a hardware accessory. A controller. I'm talking about software.
Yeah, but they still make profits on all that. The PSVR.
I mean, we're gonna buy Miles Morales if they didn't bring out the PS5 and they only launched Miles Morales on the PS4. We're buying that on the PS4. That's what I'm saying. You don't need me to buy a PS5 to sell me software. You already have 110 million. I think Stone knows.
I know what
you're saying. You're saying just as far as the software audience.
That's where all the money's at.
Yeah.
Is in the software, not the hardware. There's some money in hardware, but nothing like software.
I know, but my point was that introducing the PS5, it doesn't hurt them per se.
Yeah, there's a lot of money on it.
Or they lose it, but they make the money on all of the little extra knickknacks that you're buying.
But they would have made that anyways, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, so you're saying
the $720 million profit they made, they would have made that anyways.
But here's the thing: you wouldn't have bought a new controller. I always have 2 controllers for my consoles, no matter what, even if no one uses it. So when they introduce something new, there's going to be new things that you buy at that time.
I know, I hear you, but what I'm saying is where the money's at is software, not hardware.
Okay.
They made some little money off selling me a controller. I mean, yeah, but that's not where the money's at. I don't think they make a lot. On the headphones, they make some.
But here's the thing.
Not as much as the software. They make way more on selling you. They want the digital cells.
Hey, but here's the thing. They're offsetting that by charging $10 more for these stupid games for the new. So if you do buy the PS5 copy, you're potentially paying $10 more for it. So
that's a little. I'm just saying, I don't know.
So yeah,
that's where a company's like, let's move away from this $10 million
staying relevant with the market, staying relevant. Keeping your market share is one. You have to be competitive, and then they're making 10 extra bucks on it, and then they're potentially selling you. They're making a couple pennies off selling accessories, headphones, whatever. These $100 headphones, these media remotes. I don't know how much they make off that stuff, but they do make a couple cents probably. So my point is, You know,
I
all
feel like
that.
those would be where your real profit is.
Because they charge like over $100
as like
for those.
the new system is concerned. Like if you're selling at a loss, I'm pretty sure you're able to probably make that up with like an extra controller, that little charging station, that headset, or whatever. But how many people are really buying all of that stuff all together?
I'm not.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
About
they,
one controller.
they've been bundling all that crap.
I
So
mean, the headphones
Yeah.
have been selling out like crazy, like to the point where they were getting resold. The charger that they made, that one was getting, you know, to a point where it was like, oh, this is back in stock. You know what I mean? It wasn't getting resold, but you know, it was definitely selling.
But
out.
think about this too.
So
All these stupid
I don't
bundles
know.
that we've been hating to see. Like, it seems like the only way you get a PlayStation is bundled
It's
with all
that
the
bundles.
accessories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's because of the
So-
scarcity issue.
Yeah. But my
But-
point is that's how they're
Capitalization
throwing in
is
every
That's like
accessory
GameStop,
with it.
yeah, capitalizing
You
and
know,
stuff. Yeah.
everyone's doing that. So
Yeah.
I would say if there's one time for them to take a loss right now, is a good time for them to do it.
I
would
just
have
wouldn't.
to-
I would have kept the PS4 generation going. I think.
I would have to look at Amazon's like layout on how they worked, you know, because they did for like I think 2 or 3 years they took nothing but like heavy losses on everything that they sold. But it just was like one of those things where like, oh, it's cheaper over here. I'm just gonna go here instead of going there. And then over time, they slowly raised the prices back up to like normal. But you don't know that, oh, it's the same price at Walmart as it is on Amazon. I'm just gonna buy it from Amazon. So, you know, all that money just keeps flowing through them. So maybe there's something in there that we're not seeing. Maybe it could have been something like, oh, we want to have like all of these cool like big accessories like PSVR 2 or something, but because of the way the PS4 Pro is even made, like I have to add too much stuff to this VR to make it like compete with like Oculus or something like that. Maybe something of that nature, but there would obviously have to be more than just one item accessory that they want to add to the system to make me say, oh, I need a whole new system now to sell to people just to make this, you know, work good. But I mean,
I think
who
it's.
knows?
I think it's
maybe they end up
strictly to stay
catching up
relevant.
on the back end, like way back. Like maybe it's like they sell it at a loss for this point, and then they know within like a year's time or so that because, you know, they've already released some stuff, and you know how electronics work, eventually the stuff will get cheaper.
Maybe
and
that's
cheaper,
it.
So maybe they end up catching up.
Maybe they
It's the same
know
price,
like
never
the first 20
changed.
million are a loss, but the next 80 million they sell are profits, and so it's
Right.
worth it in that regard.
That-
Maybe that's it.
I mean, that could have
Maybe
been
that's
the,
it.
that could have
Yeah.
been the deal, right? With
Maybe
like
that's
Nvidia
it. Yeah.
and
Because you
like
know they're
some of these
making
other
money on
people,
PS4s
like, hey,
now.
I'll buy them at this price, but once
But
I
there's
buy
decent
like
production of them,
you
too.
know, whatever.
Yeah, but you know the PS4 is probably super
Oh, yeah.
cheap to make, and
For
so they're
sure, for
making
sure.
tons of money on that. So maybe that's what it is actually. Yeah, that's a good one. Stone, like they're losing money on the first 20 million, but they know they'll make money in the next 80 million because they want to sell 100 million of these things.
Yeah, and
you know?
scarcity and everything is gonna hype up the sales. So
I
now
just think
even more
that
people are gonna
you
wanna buy
might
them.
as well just keep selling your PS4 to the 80 million people. But I mean, I guess like the idea is you run out of audience and you run out of users to sell to, and so you need to resell to your users again, and so you make a new console to resell to them, and you lose money at the start, but then eventually you make a lot of money on the 80
Back
million
end.
that you eventually switch over by the
Software,
end of the
everything.
generation. So that's probably exactly what it is. Yeah, and then of course software sells, you know, because now but
'cause-
software stores are static, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
Like if someone's buying it either on the PS4 or PS5, they're not buying it on both,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
So it's not 100% static, but it's relatively static.
There's like a certain few games that people would buy, you know, on both. But I mean, you know, there's been.
But
the
most
ones
of
that we
them work
saw,
on
like
both. So
Last of Us.
Yeah,
you know.
most of them work on both, so it's
Yeah.
exactly so. Why am I gonna?
and it's just one marketplace essentially. You
And it's
know?
just one
a
marketplace,
different interface
exactly.
to
And
go
like
to
that's
it.
my point. Why it always
Yeah.
boggles me, but I think we probably figured it out. I think it's because they will make lots of money on the other half that they sell to people versus the front half.
Right. Yeah. It's like everybody who spent.
Because you're right.
like,
At 2-3 years, it's going to be a lot cheaper to make that, and then
Yeah.
for the next 4 years, you're making money, right? So that's probably
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, like I said before, like
Yeah, that's
we,
exactly
we
what
could
it is, I
build we
think.
could build computers in a couple years.
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
in a year.
That's
at
exactly
this
what it
much.
is. Yeah,
And who knows with COVID, maybe they hiked up some prices for things. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I know some things got a little bit more expensive, but who knows? Factories in other countries, maybe they had to raise their prices. So maybe they're like, crap. We estimated this was going to be $499 to make it. Now it's $599.
Right.
We'll eat the cost. You
but
know,
at some
like you
point in time,
said.
it's going to cost $200,
Yeah.
$250,
Like you
and now
say,
they're
maybe
making
when
$250
COVID's
every
done-
sale, and they're making hand over fist money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once they feel like their install base is too high, like I think PS4 is like almost at 120 million. Like, we have no more audience to sell to. Let's bring out a new console and resell to that 120
Because we
million
pretty
again,
much
right?
got
Yeah.
all the people who are going to buy the console.
Yeah.
They bought the console.
Is bought the console. So let's now bring a new one out.
Maybe
Yeah.
that entices some people who never even touched the console.
I think it's just to get those people to rebuy again. Us to rebuy again.
Probably, yeah.
And then you resell to 120 million again. And you just keep doing that over and over and over.
Because that's what I'm saying. You never
Yeah.
buy a controller again unless yours breaks. But when a new, especially Sony's notorious for like, oh, your things don't work on the new one. Xbox,
Yeah,
your
but
old
it only
Microsoft-
makes sense if
Yeah.
you can end up selling it for a profit, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
for
probably
sure.
doesn't happen for the first few years.
Yeah, but I could
Probably takes a
definitely
couple
see like
years.
some solid deal worked out. Whereas it's like, hey, after 150 million units, you sell to me at this price. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna, your Nvidia or whatever, you're gonna get your sales for your graphics card or whatever.
'Cause it's AMD,
but are they
right?
gonna amount
AMD
to
makes
what these
their-
consoles are selling?
What do you
I
mean?
don't know.
The G Forces?
Yeah,
It's from
whatever.
AMD,
Like the
'cause
biggest.
they make their they make the GPU for the PlayStation.
Right, yeah. So like whatever their thing is selling,
Right.
that's the equivalent of
Where were they
like,
contracted
yeah,
out to?
am I
yeah.
gonna sell more PlayStations with your stuff in my console than you just selling that unit by itself?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I feel like those consoles are gonna go a little bit more
Mhm.
than these units because there's a lot of people that got the PCs, but are they upgrading to the max shit possible?
Yeah.
When you're releasing everything,
Yeah, the GPUs actually go out of stock. There's a lot of people. The bot army is buying out all the GPUs too because you have the retail people and then you have all the people who are doing cryptocurrency trying to mine with the graphics cards.
Right.
So those ones
Because
are
there's still
reselling.
people mining Ethereum, right?
Still people mining everything, and the Nvidia cards are pretty good to do it with.
Yeah.
So those are even selling a couple hundred over retail too. But that's been happening for the past couple of years with them. So it's not unique to COVID, but.
Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully they're able to catch up with all of their production and all that, and be able to make it so that these, the scalpers, it's irrelevant to try to scalp it anymore.
Oh yeah, at some point in time, it's gonna happen. Of
But
course.
I think that probably was the reason why.
Yeah, once supply
also how
rises
much it
and
costs.
once it gets cheaper, yeah.
Hey, but the $399 for digital, that's a deal.
Dude, that's what I kept saying. I was like, you're really getting a
I-
great thing.
I don't want to
Yes.
buy
I
digital,
know.
but $399 for one.
I know,
Dude,
it's such a good deal.
that's
Because if
insane.
they're losing money on the PS5, then how much are they losing on the digital? Because the only difference between the two is a disc
Disc,
drive, and we
yeah.
know that's probably cheap for them, $30. You know?
Yeah. But how long do you think it'll be before somebody's able to figure out how to hack the digital version so that you could attach an external Blu-ray drive?
I
to
wish.
Because I
don't
know I've
dude,
seen tons of
but
people
yeah.
trying to attach one, but it just doesn't.
But
Really
you won't be able to play
period.
your games. That's what matters.
Right. Well, I mean, if it's a Blu-ray eye, you should be able to play the game, right? If it could recognize the attachment.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Yeah, why
you
wouldn't
think
you?
it's something else in there
I don't think so.
that like helps read
I
it?
think there's something else in there.
Hmm.
Yeah. Software, right? Or hardware, right? Inside the actual player that can recognize it as a game versus a movie. Because the Blu-ray player is only going to recognize that as a movie.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
Who
even know
knows?
how it works.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, but I know
But
some people
anyways.
have definitely tried to like, oh, can I attach a Blu-ray
Hey,
to this?
that'd be
sucker
cool
and see
if
it works?
Sony did that. They released $100 like Blu-ray that you
Later?
plug it in.
Yeah, that would allow you to
all right,
play the
guys,
game.
it's 150 or whatever.
I would do 150.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be like, if you really want it,
So that would be for the people
150
that
Yeah,
think
that's
break,
funny.
or
If
you
if
could
your
just
drive
go ahead and
breaks,
trade
You
yours
could do
in and
that.
buy a
Yeah,
new
you
one.
could do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't. They should definitely like all these consoles should just be into like how can I just keep selling like other parts. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
oh, I got this 1 terabyte SSD now for your PS5 or your Xbox. Series
Yeah.
S. Or something else that you would be able to just like.
I almost
upgrade
never
on
buy
your-
accessories,
on your
man,
thing.
for my
No?
for my consoles.
But I feel like they would rather just sell you a whole brand new one.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
they're like Apple, like, oh, your phone's broken.
Yeah.
Oh, just buy a new one.
Yeah.
It's like let's not fix the little damage that's on there.
yeah.
Hey, so I had an issue with my my Air. This is totally off the topic of games, but like my AirPods, I had the OG ones,
Yeah.
and I was having an issue with them like disconnecting quite often, or like one ear just wouldn't connect. Period. And so I had gone on to the Apple Care or
yeah.
whatever chat thing to talk to them about seeing if there was something that they could do. Maybe it's like a software issue or something like that. But anyways, I got down to it. They tell me it's $69 per AirPod to get a replacement.
Per
because-
bud?
Per bud. per bud. It's $69
dude.
to get a replacement because there's nothing that they even care to do. There's
Isn't
no
that
Apple Care or anything for it.
So it's $140 for a pair.
So $140 for a pair, and then if you wanted,
You can buy them cheaper.
You can buy them brand new for like $120 right?
So if you wanted a new
God.
case, let's say like your case isn't charging properly anymore, that it's not holding battery, whatever the reason.
Yeah.
A new case is $59 for the OG joint. So it equivalates to about $199, which is
the retail
damn
price,
near
right?
price for AirPods Pro. I think on sale AirPods Pro was like $200. They're normally like $250 or something like that. So it's like, so the woman kept telling me, you might as well just buy a new set.
Yeah, that's the point. They price you out of.
I bought this thing.
Right.
I've been had this thing, but you telling me there's nothing I can do for an issue that's
exactly.
caused by regular.
Yeah, that's by design, dude. They price it that way. They price it that way.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting
BS.
that they would price all that stuff like that. And so I could definitely see some of these other companies going with that same model. Like, you could upgrade this and that, but like you might as well just buy yourself. You got this this digital version. You want more hard drive space and you want a disc. I could sell you these, but you might as well just go ahead and trade that in to GameStop. Go ahead and buy you a new disc version.
Right.
It's more units sold, man. It's more numbers for them. That's more numbers for the reports. They just want more numbers.
And the problem, I mean, I don't know. Like, Apple makes a good product, right? And so that's how they keep their customer base. But I really wish a lot of people would leave Apple, dude, and stop putting up with all that BS,
hard,
dude.
man. It's hard.
I know it is.
It
I
is
just,
hard, dude.
we allow ourselves to
I
be
left.
raped, you know?
Yeah.
We allow ourselves to get raped like
And
that
it's-
because
it's
they know people
because-
are going to pay it.
It's because there's so many like it's stuff that works so good together.
Yeah, it's a great ecosystem.
And then it's like you get one and it's like, oh, well, I might as well grab this.
And it all
'cause
works
worked
great together. Yeah, I know. It
Yeah.
is. It's great.
You just fall in the hole. It's kind of like if you were to buy like a Google phone and then you get the Google Buds that work really great together with that. And then you have like, a Chromebook or something like that that's able to work with
the
that.
drive, and you're using everything together.
But an email
in a
is not
sequence.
enough to tie in everything together and get you to come over to their ecosystem. I got Gmails, nonstop, but they work perfectly fine on my
Everything
iPhone.
works fine on the iPhone, yeah.
So it's just one of those things. But
Yeah.
speaking of Google,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, dude. So remember, I bought that. You guys talked about the AirPods last year, so I bought 2 pairs, one for me and one for my wife.
Yes.
Last July. I bought the warranty for hers. She's good with her stuff, but they offered it and it was like $19.99. So I was like, that's pretty good. It included accidental damage, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens with mine? I lose them. Literally after 2 months after using them.
That sucks, dude.
That's the worst part of those.
I
I haven't lost mine because I have mine attached to my keys, but yeah, I get it.
So I do the Find My AirPods. They die in my house. I was like, they're in my house somewhere. So fast forward to December. We're doing laundry, and my mother-in-law was like, "Oh, I found these in the washer.
Just your buds or the whole case?
Just
and
the
everything?
buds." I was like,
damn.
"What?" And I looked. I was like, "Oh my god!"
They got washed?
because we were doing laundry like the whole day. So I was
Yeah.
like, "How many times did these get washed?" So I was like, "Oh, dude,
They worked, huh?
do they work?"
Yeah, you dried them out. They got dried out,
Yeah,
right?
mine
And
still
so they
worked.
worked.
I had accidentally washed mine.
Dude, they
one
worked
time.
perfect.
They
You're
worked.
like, dude, they worked. That's so funny.
so
man.
mine was
The
like,
story is I found them.
Yeah. Story is
the
like,
point is they work somehow. I downloaded some app where it like vibrates and like bzzz,
and
Oh,
it
yeah?
worked,
and it like drops the water out. So I let them
Ah.
dry. I let them dry for like.
Might as well
2
just throw them in the
days.
dryer. Just like,
I
they've been
I
washed.
literally washed and dried mines, and I found
You
them. I
washed
pulled
and
them. I was
dried.
folding, and I pulled them out, and I was like, "Oh, damn, these are where they are."
And they still function.
And
yeah, that's
I was
funny.
like, "Oh, okay, they still working."
Yeah,
But-
that's funny,
Yeah.
dude.
But yeah, if it ever happens, there's an app. It's like a vibrator app. I think if it's native on the iPhone.
okay.
But it goes zzz, and it drips the water out.
Yeah.
I mean, mine didn't
That's
really have
neat.
any, but
That's
I watched
neat.
videos and there's drops like zzz, like because you put them down and then it vibrates all the water out. Zzz. I was like, holy.
It's kind of like what happens with your watch when you have your Apple Watch and you go
Oh.
swimming or whatever. There's like a little thing where you can press it and then it'll go like boop boop boop, and I guess it like opens a chamber and like tries to eject some of the water if it's
that's dope.
any inside the watch. There's really not much that would be
Yeah.
in there, but maybe a drop
Yeah,
or two
that's
will
cool.
come at. But that's literally
A lot of
the
these
thing I
things these
hate
days,
about
like
AirPods.
phones and watches, are all water resistant though. Anyways, these days.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
That's literally the
That's
thing I
cool,
hate
man.
about
Good story, bro.
AirPods, man.
Yeah, I
There's
was like,
no
phew.
way to find those suckers if you lose them. Like that whole Find My AirPods shit. If you didn't
If they're
just
dead,
turn it
though,
on, if you
yeah,
didn't just
I
use
know.
it and then lost it and was looking
They're
for
all
it,
dead, and you're not. I know.
it's telling
I
me
know,
like
man. It's
like
funny.
over the weekend, you know, I was at my in-laws and I had used my AirPods and whatnot while I was at work.
Yeah.
And then from the time that I got in my car and then drove to their house and was over there or whatever, I don't know what happened to them. So they fell out of my pocket or something. I don't know if they're in my car, in my in-laws' house, whatever. I'm looking for them. All my shit tells me is that, hey, a couple days ago, they were at work.
A couple days ago.
So it only recollects
so
when
funny.
you just flicked them open and
Yeah.
it caught wind of the signal, and that's the
And
last
then if you
location
lost
it'll
them,
tell
yeah.
you. You could press play to sound, all of that shit. It don't hear nothing. It's not taking no data, no nothing. I was literally in my car sitting next to them. I didn't know they had fell in the crack of the seat, but that shit was not playing because it just will not connect to
You
them.
were sitting next
So
to them.
I
Dude.
mean,
That's
when I
so
when I
funny,
had got
dude.
them, when
That's
I had got them
hilarious.
for my birthday, I was like, man, one of the first things I gotta do is buy the tiles. You know, the little tile company that they have, like where you can, you know, place like certain trackers on your like your keys or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
and it
Yeah.
connects to your phone and whatnot. Like I have to because that gives a constant signal, and I should be able to find out where it's at with the tile app. I didn't do it, but I'm gonna have to do it, man, because I
got the
lost them
pros
for that
now,
cool little minute,
right?
and I was like, man, I gotta find these things, and I was like, I know they probably in this damn car, and I'm gonna find them. So I'm just leave. And sure enough, when I got home, I got out of my car and I was checking with my flashlight and I saw that they were in a
That's
little
so
slip
funny,
in my
dude.
car. But
That's hilarious.
you lose them little shits so quick.
Yeah.
And if you get them
Yeah,
without the case, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but you know, we were on the subject of Google
yeah,
and whatnot, and you know, Google Stadia, right? This awesome product that thousands and thousands of
Awesome
people
product,
are getting,
man.
and they
Tens
selling.
of people.
They selling big,
Yeah.
right?
Huge, man.
Decided that they were gonna stop making first party games. They shut
Yeah.
down all of their first party studios,
Yeah.
and they decided that they're only gonna focus on third party games. You know, like Call of Duty and
Destiny.
all the other
and-
ones. Yeah, Destiny, everything else that isn't Google related. So what do you think was going through their minds on this? Do you think that they've made so much profit that they were just like, F it, we don't need that money?
No, I think it costs way too much money, and they didn't get a return on their investments. Because there's one game that I've been waiting for. It's the
Orcs Must Die. You
Orcs
kept talking
Must
about
Die.
that.
I've
It's
been
like the fifth
waiting
time you've talked
for
about this.
that
Yeah.
Is it
game.
like 3 or something?
Yes,
Okay.
and it's only on the Google Stadia. So
And they canceled it, huh?
well, if you go on any, my point was, if you go on any Orcs Must Die Reddit, video, YouTube, Facebook, everyone's like, the Stadia sucks. Bring it to PC. The Stadia sucks. Bring it to Xbox. Literally, no one cares about
Yeah.
how awesome the gameplay. Everyone is just ripping on the Stadia. Like, when is this coming to Xbox? When
Oh,
is
so
this
they weren't
coming to
even giving it
PlayStation?
the time of
When is
day.
this coming to PC? That's literally every video, everything about Orcs Must Die. They're just saying, hey guys, we got a new trailer for you. Everyone's just like, when is this coming to everything but the Stadia? So I think that tells you they're exclusives because the audience is so small. Like, it's I don't know a single person who, okay, I know one person who has a Google Stadia who plays games on it, but I don't know. Do you guys know anybody?
No.
So
I know I've heard of people like on, you know, YouTube and stuff.
No, I've
like
never
that
seen
who
a
get
single
the shit
person
for
in real
free
life
that,
who
you
has
know,
it, yeah.
we're playing it and stuff.
Mhm.
but-
So exclusives don't work when only one person will play them. You know what I mean? So I think they realize that now,
Yeah.
and they're like, all right, let's just
No
try
one
to
bought the system.
let's just make money like you're saying with PlayStation on their store. Let's make money on our marketplace when people buy
But
whatever
no one's
game
buying the
from
Stadia.
us.
Now people have even less of a reason to buy Stadia, though. So that's the problem.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, this feels like the end of Stadia.
This feels
I
like the
know-
decline. This feels
Yeah,
like
I know. Like they're saying, like, oh, we're transitioning, you know, to be more of a platform than a, you know,
Yeah.
service. But the problem is, like, you just gave people even less of a reason to buy your system. Like, people didn't have much of a reason before, but now you've given them less of a reason, and it makes people think like, oh, you're dying, aren't you? Like, it makes people start thinking that. Like, I don't want to get on that plane now.
Well, let me ask
I don't want
you,
to jump on board.
does Steam have their own games?
No.
Yes.
So Steam,
Oh, they
Yes,
do.
has
they
Yeah,
do.
like Half-Life Alex and Half-Life. That's all made by
so that
Steam.
they have all the
Okay.
games made
So
by
it's
Valve.
all made by Valve.
By Valve, yes.
Valve, yes.
Valve
Okay.
is Steam.
So they have a lot of exclusives.
So
Yes.
they have a lot though.
Well, a lot.
I would say
but they
I would
have
say
many.
over their life
They have
cycle.
many, yeah.
Over their
I don't know if a
life
lot's the
cycle,
right word or not,
They've
yeah.
had a lot of exclusives because Steam is. I've had Steam since maybe 2004.
It's almost like
Are you talking
required
about
when you have a
exclusives
PC.
that are only available on Steam or
Yes.
that Valve developed?
Well, at a
I would
certain
say they're
point,
like one
Because
and
they
the
have lots
same.
of games that you can only get like through Steam, but
Right,
that
I
doesn't
would-
mean they developed them.
I would
I'm
say
talking
that's
about
probably,
exclusives
like,
from
one
Oh,
and the
okay.
same.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
From
So I would
not
say-
from Valve, but just on Steam.
Yes, I would
Okay,
say over
yeah.
the life that they
Yeah,
did
there are
have
lots.
a good amount, but
Yeah.
nowadays because of Epic and everyone
Yeah.
else, they're not as.
There are
common.
quite a few
They're not as
games that I
common.
got that I was only able to get on Steam.
Hmm.
And then there are some games that Steam themselves develop,
Yes,
like Half-Life Alyx and Half-Life and
So,
Counter-Strike.
I mean,
Counter-Strike that they actually made themselves.
Yes.
maybe they're trying to employ that type of frame, you know, like Steam, like where if you wanted to get like a legit game on your mobile phone or be able to play it on anything, you just buy it on Stadia, and there's maybe they're able to talk to a couple of third party developers to just make games strictly for Stadia. I mean, maybe a couple would probably, you know, pull like a small branch that just works on Stadia.
I just don't know
games.
how Stadia competes in the market right now with Game Pass and with Steam
They're pretty
and with the
non-existent,
new
I'm sure.
consoles coming out. Like,
Epic.
Epic. Why
Everybody.
join their ecosystem? That's what I'm having a hard time, like emphasizing. Like, why would I, as a gamer, want to buy a Stadia? That I'm not. I feel like that I'm not already being serviced by on the other platforms that I have. What are they offering me?
I feel like that would be the only thing for us would be a specific game that was only coming out on Stadia. And
I would
think
have to
that
be
there
more
would
than a
be-
specific game, man. I'd have to be like
Well, I mean,
serious games.
There's people that I've talked to that legit don't have a PlayStation, but they would buy a PlayStation if they heard that the new God of War Ragnarok was coming out this year. That they would go and buy one. So I mean, there are some, right, that would literally buy like a whole new console or whatever just to play one game. And this is way cheaper than buying like a whole $500 console.
I mean, it would have to be
It's
like a
30 bucks.
They would
crazy
need,
good
they would need
games.
like a Pokemon
It had to
style.
be something
It doesn't
big,
have to
dude.
be that big because
Yeah.
it's only $30 to get in the door with Google Stadia.
It had to be a big one. Like, for instance, let's say they made Hitman 3 exclusive on Stadia. That's not going to draw me in. Yeah, it's a guy exclusive games, yo. It's a big one.
There's a lot
but
of
it's not
Hitman
big
fans,
enough.
but
this
I
is-
don't
yeah,
think
it's
it
not
would
big
be.
This
enough.
is what they would have to do. So Epic gives. I have like over 20 or 30 free games on Epic. They give really like good modern games for free. Stadia would have to do the same thing.
That I agree
Hey, guys.
with. Free games.
Spend $30, buy a controller,
Yes,
and
free
you can play
games.
this brand new Hitman for free.
Yes,
for the
that's
first,
where I would
Now
be inclined.
they did give you access to some type of a package or whatever, right? That would allow you to play like some free games on their.
It's
their
a
Google
service. I
Stadia.
think they have like $6 or $7,
Yeah.
and you get
Yeah.
some free games. But it's nothing like Game Pass.
Yeah.
No, I'm not too much is like
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
Pass.
I mean,
at
Game
this
Pass
moment.
costs more, but you get so much more.
Right.
Like, it's not even close.
So
That's
I mean,
what I'm
maybe
saying.
for your bang. for
No,
your
I'm
buck
thinking
or
more like
something?
what Mark's saying. You buy the controller and you get to play these AAAs for
free.
free. Yeah, you're not gonna have a lot, but you have enough that's like,
Yeah.
okay, now it's worth buying this
Yeah.
system.
But do you offer? So you don't charge. So you're saying no charge of like some type of online service at
Because
all
they're
to play
moving
video
towards
games?
third party, like, so they're not offering anything more than I can already get on any of my other platforms. That's what I'm saying. Because it's third party, so that means I can
Right.
play it on everything anyway. So what am I getting the Stadia for? That's what I'm saying. Why I think this is just like it's like a white flag, man. I like it's surrender. We've lost. You know, we
Yeah.
can't compete,
I feel like
which is
I
shocking
feel-
for Google. They don't fill up much.
Yeah, I feel like if it was able to make its way to like a Nintendo Switch or something, that'd probably be a game changer for it. I
What
mean,
the
if you're-
service on the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, like if you're able to literally get on the best handheld ever, and you know and play like top tier games, but you're not.
Aren't you held back
not
by
suffering.
the Switch's hardware?
I
if you're
mean,
just
we've heard
streaming,
those
People
talks of the
hate some, like,
Switch
Phoenix
Pro.
like runs terrible. Like people hate
Yeah.
certain third party games on the Switch.
But at the same time, right, you're talking about a game that's utilizing the hardware on the Switch to play. We're talking about a
Streaming,
a streaming service.
Oh,
that
streaming.
Just
But streaming's
utilizes
still not there. But yeah,
It's
Yeah,
web based or
streaming's
whatever to be
fine.
able to do it.
I
So
think
it
in-
might produce.
yeah.
It might be able to play. I don't know, GTA
Hitman 3 or
or
whatever.
something
I know what
like
you're
that.
saying. Yeah, a new
Yeah.
game.
At high quality
Yeah.
on this,
Yeah.
Switch. Like it would
Yeah.
revitalize
think
the
that-
Switch if it
I
was
think
able
all the
to.
Switch is already
competitors-
revitalized, man. It's like selling just as good as the PlayStation is.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you don't think that it would like double in sales just off
I
of
would
whatever
say
it's getting
the
right now.
competitors
If,
wouldn't
like,
allow. I don't think Nintendo would allow like Google Stadia.
Well, and that too, that's another hurdle.
Probably on their
allowing
marketplace.
him
No?
on
You
Nintendo.
don't think
Because
so?
think about it, freaking Apple doesn't want to let Game Pass on the streaming, the xCloud. I feel like they're like people are just staying in their own lane kind of thing.
well, they're not. It's not that they're not letting them. It's that they're making them jump through these hoops.
Yeah.
Dude,
to be
Nintendo
able to
wants
do
you to
it.
buy
It
their
will
games,
be
not someone
on. It
else's
will
games.
be on
One day.
Game Pass. I mean, Game Pass will be on iOS at some point. I think this year. It was their game plan, but they just have to jump through so many hoops just to get it on there because it's not just a straightforward app. It's, you know, you gotta make it like this. It's gotta go like this through some stuff. You know, go around this in order to be able to enjoy it. I could see something like that being able to go on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't want it on there, right? Like, they can't get any of my proprietary stuff, like my Marios and Zeldas and all that. I still got those. That's my bread and butter. Is, you know, those IPs that always sell. By
They
the
don't.
dozens.
The reason why I
Pokemon.
think that they would be stingy on it is because I think Nintendo looks at their brand as like, I don't know, this is a bad comparison, but like Rolls Royce, you know, or like Apple, like very exclusive and fashioned in a way that they even got out of the mobile business because that's what they said. They thought it was hurting their brand. And I think there is an image associated with like mobile games. I think there is an image associated with like streaming. Oh, this is just a jank, you know, hand-me-down service. This isn't the real deal. And I don't think Nintendo ever wants to be viewed as anything other than the real deal 100% of the time, because their brand is like important to them. Like it's like an exclusive kind of thing. Nintendo, like you join the club kind of thing, you know, and they don't want their brand or any of their characters or any of their IPs damaged in any way. And I think they might think that doing some kind of like third party simplistic Google Stadia streaming service could maybe water down their brand. I think I can see them thinking
It's
that
not
way.
even
Even
like,
if it does or not, I just can see them thinking that way. Like, no, we're pristine. I don't want anything rippling this pristine lake, you know,
But I
that
mean,
we've built.
at the same time, right? It's not like they're offering the streaming service. It's they're allowing a streaming service to be played on their console. But at the same time, like, I mean, who in their right mind is like going and getting Call of Duty?
I'm just saying
for
they're
the
very
Switch
stingy.
and like enjoying.
They're
it
very
when
stingy
you
on
see
what they
everything
allow to
else.
come into their marketplace.
Yeah.
They're very stingy, just like Apple is. Very selective and like just allowing a service to come in and just like puke games onto their system. I don't think that that's like in their DNA. Like I don't know.
They're weird about anything, like people who stream their games. People like they're so weird. Like they don't even, for the longest time, you couldn't even stream Nintendo games. You couldn't make YouTube content unless you're like a Nintendo ambassador. Like they had all these weird like regulations. They didn't want people, the average person.
I don't
even
think they
showing.
want to be turned into being, oh, that's the place you go and you just have a marketplace of games. I think they want to be like an iconic brand with imagery and things, you know, like they are, like Nintendo is. Yeah. You know,
It would be nice if they just like
Nintendo brand matters more to them than anything, even profits, I think.
But if to me, it would be nice if they were just like, okay, let's stick to making everything that's on this console pretty much like first party, like all of the ones that make. We've been making games for this and stuff, but you know, the games that you can buy on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, you know, whatever, make those available through Stadia, and you'd actually get that quality by playing through Stadia. You know what I mean? So we don't waste our time you developing a shitty version of that game to put on our system. You just make it for Google.
Yeah, but I'm just
Stadia,
asking you, think about it.
play
If
on
that
one
happened and we all start playing all our third-party games on Nintendo, does it kind of, in a sense, kind of stop feeling like Nintendo? Or does it start turning into like just like a Vita or just like a platform service that we're just playing our games on? And does Nintendo's brand get watered down a little bit?
I don't
Does
think.
it transform a bit?
To me, I don't think
Like
Nintendo's
thinking down
brand,
the line,
I
like
don't
if that's what
think-
it became.
Well, to me, I don't think Nintendo's brand would get watered down because at the same time, I bought a Nintendo to play like Mario's, to play the Zeldas, whatever. Those games are still going to be there. It's just that now I have something else that I'm able to play on my Nintendo. Now, do I care if people
But
bought my Nintendo
isn't that kind
just
of a
to play
pivot though?
mobile
Isn't
games?
that kind of a pivot?
To just allow a service
Moving
on my
to
console?
streaming, and now you're streaming like thousands of different mobile, all sorts of different games, mobile games, third-party games. That seems like kind of a pivot to me.
Well,
away from just being the Nintendo brand.
I think you're thinking of it as like Nintendo opening up their own streaming service. I'm just saying, allow somebody to stream something on my console.
That's
if you if you didn't have a Nintendo Switch, right? I've been making my games. I got all of my sales, and I'm still continuing to get sales. But you, who never had a Switch, saw that there was a way that you could play all of those dope-ass third-party games that are available on every console anyways, but you're able to play them at a high quality on my console, and you bought one of my consoles just so you could play Call of Duty at 60 frames per second or whatever that it's offering.
Play at 60 frames per second.
I
know you're fashioning this dreamland where like streaming is like just as high quality as the consoles, but it isn't. Like it's not even close. Streaming isn't even close. It's a very watered down, dumbed down version of gaming. It's not good. Like it's some games are okay.
I'll say it depends on the game.
It's way better, man. Having the actual game on your hard drive, like
for sure,
it's way better. I just don't think Nintendo would want something like that on their system.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't think there's enough. I think if the Nintendo was tanking, it might be a good strategy.
That's because of the pivot, right? It's kind of a pivot.
But I just think it's too much. Like, I don't think Nintendo would benefit as much as Google Stadia would potentially benefit. So
shit, maybe like a deal with Google Stadia as to like, hey, I let you put this on my system. But, every time that you got a subscriber, you give me some money. Kind of like what GameStop and Microsoft had.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I'll buy some of your company, and, and then I get some money on this back end from, all of these. You'll get something for all of these sales or whatever.
Yeah. But this is a little different. But I'm just curious when the Amazon Luna comes out. Is it going to have the same fate as Google Stadia? Because if Google can't do it and Amazon can't do it, this can't be done. Let's just go back to...
Well, just because Microsoft is dominating it, right? And Steam is dominating. I just think Steam and Microsoft are dominating it right now.
Because I just wish Microsoft
not
did
just
this,
streaming,
man.
just the puking out of games, easily accessible puke it out of games, not just streaming. But,
plus, we don't want another ecosystem. We already have the PSN.
Yeah, ecosystems. I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's
ecosystems.
Too many, dude.
I think Microsoft and Steam are kind of dominating the gaming ecosystems right now, as far as like online.
Epic
online
hasn't started
gaming.
to dominate.
And Epic too.
Epic's doing good.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's not a lot of space there left. Where did they squeeze in? Yeah, like at what angle are they coming in that are doing something different for me that those aren't already
Let's just
doing?
think about it. EA introduced their store, crashed. You know what I mean? They tried. And then Uplay has one, and now I would say it's very hard to get into that, that market.
Yeah,
but you have to have an angle. I just don't see where the angle is.
It seems like a lot of these companies though are just starting to add their little version of Game Pass or whatever as just like an extra. Like we can, what I mean. But at the end of the day, like, you're still gonna buy these games that we made. There's still gonna be tons of people that just buy the games for one-offs.
Yeah.
And not pay our service. But if you like, we got the service here for you. Kind of like NBC adding a streaming service. Or like some of these other ones.
Yeah,
like
I think
I'm not watching shit on NBC.
I think there's some room for streaming services like Game Pass still.
Absolutely.
Where like they can maybe fit in there, but they're not going at that to the same degree like that Microsoft is.
Dude, they wouldn't be able to compete with that.
Yeah, but that's what you'd have to do. I think there's room in that market
for them to do it.
Yeah, like for someone else to come in, like Amazon or Google to come into and compete with Game Pass. I don't think there's room for them to compete as an ecosystem because that's what they're trying to be, an ecosystem. And we have enough ecosystems. We have enough
too many.
That we get everything we need from everywhere. What are you offering me? Yeah, that are solidified. Like, what am I have my computer ecosystem. And I have my gaming ecosystem. I mean, my console ecosystem. Why do I need your ecosystem too?
Because Epic is literally giving out like really good games every week. Like, hey, come to our store. We're giving you like. They even got I forgot what game it was. Total War. One of the new Total Wars. It was exclusive to the Epic store at that time, and it was free on launch. It was an exclusive. And it was free, and you got the first DLC if you added it to your cart within the first week.
That's what you need to do.
So they're literally going that far. Like, hey, this is exclusive to us for now. It's on Steam and stuff, but they're literally going that far. You know, giving you brand new games, exclusives.
We'll see what Prime does. We'll see what Amazon does. Maybe they can go in that
if someone
direction
can
with
do
Prime,
it, I think they
you know.
could. Amazon could do it.
Yeah, they could try to do something that compete with GameStop on like a subscription service where you have like all these games to play. I just hope it's not streaming. If it's streaming based, then that is a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
That's 5-10 years away.
Luna is supposed to be a streaming service, but I think it
Yeah.
was supposed to be like, you know, you could purchase it and be able to play it on your PC or whatever.
Hope so.
Not whatever, but
Right.
you know, either Luna or your PC.
Yeah.
I hope
that
it
you
ties
could
to your
play it.
Amazon
I
account.
mean, I guess I just don't trust streaming yet.
Okay.
If streaming,
That's fair.
right?
I think
it's close. I think it's close.
our
because I didn't.
internet infrastructure
I think
needs
it
to be greatly
depends.
improved.
I think
in
it depends on
order
the
for it
game.
to be really beneficial.
If it's like an old game like God of War or something, I think
Yeah.
maybe it can work.
Let's just say something like
But if
Stardew
you're
Valley.
trying to play,
that'll
yeah,
probably work.
exactly, I agree with that. But if you're
might
trying to
play
play
that
Call of
for
Duty
real.
Black Ops,
No, not any multiplayer.
you
game.
can't, right?
No.
Like if you're trying to
There'll be
play
lag. You'd
The
have a
Last
lot
of
of
Us 2,
issues.
you're probably not going to be happy. You know, anything modern, I don't think that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
yes, for some things it works. When it gets to the place where it just works,
Yeah.
right? Like gaming works. When it gets to that place, which I can see at some point in time
Oh,
it
yeah.
will, then I can see Luna and Stadia. I think it's a little too soon, I think, for streaming.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we're close, but yeah.
Yeah. So, tell me about this 007 rumor that's been going on. Well, it's
Yeah, did you guys see that?
I heard a little bit about it, but explain a little
So
bit
pretty
more for me.
much, I don't know who, but someone found a ROM. Someone got a hold of a ROM for Xbox 360 that is a remaster of 007 GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64.
And it's the legitimate one that the developers made, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't
like
know.
fully finished.
I don't know the completion of it. I don't know what
Right.
stage it is, but it's playable, and it's in glorious 720p. If I'm not mistaken, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but it's in 720p HD.
Which is pretty good for a 360 game.
That's the only difference, though, between the N64 version and the 360 version is that the resolution is higher.
okay.
Because
Hey, more
it's the
pixels,
same exact. It's not a remake. They didn't redo anything.
Just a remaster.
It's just literally a resolution bump. So it's
So-
clearer, yeah,
But is
which
this,
helps.
I thought it looked pretty decent.
But is this
I mean, it's
something-
GoldenEye. You know what I'm saying?
If it was like some kind of indie developer indie game, then yeah, it looks pretty decent. But I think when we're thinking of like,
but when it came out,
oh, a new GoldenEye,
Dude,
we're
but-
thinking of like a new one, right?
hey, but
not
just
the same thing
but
we've
just
all
think
played a
about
thousand
this.
times.
Think about this. When Xbox 360 during the era of Xbox Live, online play was a big thing. You know, online play never really existed. So imagine if you had GoldenEye with online play. I think that's enough. You know, just having an online feature. So I would say for them that would be
I
enough for
see
a
you.
remaster.
I see you on
That-
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see you there.
So
I'm just saying it wasn't what I first thought when I thought.
you're thinking of like a remake.
Yeah, I was
Gotcha.
like, oh, they were really
Like brand
trying
new,
to
like
do
they
something.
were-
No, they actually didn't do
added some new
anything new. It's the
concepts
same
and
as
stuff.
that game. But yes, added
Yeah.
features, you
Yeah.
know.
And this was said that it was made by the developers, right? It wasn't just like
Yes.
somebody.
Correct.
Yeah,
decided
this
to
wasn't like
take
a
it and then
mod and
revamp
somebody
This
it.
is a
like modified
this
it.
was
This
a real
is-
game at some point.
It was supposed to happen, right? And people talk about that all the time because I think Microsoft has the rights, I think, to like Perfect Dark and
Yeah.
007.
Which is
and
why
they
they're
haven't done
coming out with
anything with them.
Why?
Well, remember we heard the rumor
Dude,
of Perfect Dark.
what's funny is, dude, yeah, we did hear that. No, that's happening.
Yeah.
But like 007, but it's taken like, there was nothing in the 360 era, which now we know there was something, but for some reason it got scrapped. I don't know why, but for some reason it got scrapped because now we know that there was something. And there was nothing for the One era, the Xbox One era, in Perfect Dark or 007. It's funny though, because even when I watched some of the video play on the ROM, and it's like, gosh, this still just looks fun. I don't know why. They capture lightning there. There's something fun about that game.
Well,
You know,
that game was incredible.
like it's just there's something the silencer like there's something fun about shooting in that game, and it's
Game
just
was
something
awesome.
fun about it. Even as old as it is, but it didn't look like anything different than what it did. And,
Yeah.
you know, just the resolution is high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well,
I would buy it if it came out. For sure, I would buy it.
well, there's a limit. On
No,
the
I'm saying
price.
hypothetically.
What, $5? What would you pay for?
how
it?
much you? That's
yeah.
your limit.
Oh,
You said you'd
okay.
buy it, but that doesn't mean
I
anything.
would pay $20 or less
You'd pay 20.
for in the current state. If this was on Xbox One
I
or
don't know if I'd pay
PS4 or
20,
PC,
dude.
I would pay $20 to play it online with my friends because me and my brother used to get down on this game.
It's more of a nostalgia thing. for
Nostalgic.
you then.
This is like a
completely
$2 or
nostalgic.
$3 I'd pay.
Dang, on your phone,
I'd
play
pay
it on your phone.
$2.99.
That'd be cool if it was on the phone.
$2.99
I
for
play it for free. But if
I'll
it's
I think
definitely
I'd play it
charging
for
me anything,
$2.99. I
no.
think I'd play it for $2.99.
I wasn't that big of a 00 fan, so they got to give it
Gotcha.
to me for free at that point.
All right, I changed my mind. I would pay up to $14.99.
20 is a lot, bro.
20.
14 is a lot.
I would pay up to $14.99
That seems like
if it had online features.
10's pushing it.
Then I'd play that.
If
But
they,
there probably
if
a lot
they
of people
give
would
to
buy
you-
it though.
If
A
they
lot of
give
people
it
would
to you
buy
for
it.
free, but they have in-game purchases, I'll play it.
Oh, that'd be cool. Skins and stuff.
Yeah, something
That'd
like
be cool.
that. Something
Yeah, we all would play it. For
Yeah, we
free.
would all play
It's
that,
not what we're
dude.
discussing, dude. It's not what we're discussing.
But you
You're
wouldn't
such
you
a
wouldn't pay
dummy.
any money. You'd only play if it was free.
Yeah, no, hell no. For a 360 game,
See,
fuck
then that's
no.
bad. He said
You're
he'd not
so
pay any
dumb,
money.
dude. You're so dumb.
I could download them shits for free.
Dude,
off
you could
Microsoft,
play
bro.
Dead Cells on the 360.
Huh?
You could play Stardew Valley on the 360.
They ain't on a 360 though.
But it doesn't matter if it's a 360 game. Is the game good or not?
Ah,
It doesn't matter what console
looking
it
up
was
how much
on.
Goldeneye
That's what I'm trying to
costs.
say. Stardew Valley doesn't require no processing power. I could play that probably on an,
My wife plays on her phone.
yeah, you can
Everyone's
play
good.
that on almost anything. Like,
Yeah, but all of our phones are way more powerful than that 360.
no, but I'm saying the 360 could you
That's
could have played 360. If Stardew Valley came out in the 360 area, it would have ran on the 360.
You think it's gonna look as good?
Yeah,
All right, guys,
I think it
so-
looked fine.
If you buy the game, the cheapest one's about $22 on eBay.
For N64, yeah.
So-
I mean, or like Undertale, like that's a super crappy graphical game. That would have played on probably a Super Nintendo, you know? That game could have launched on a Super Nintendo, and people love that game. It's like a 10. You know, like what matters is the game good, not what system it came out on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at it that way, man. I wouldn't say like, oh, that's a 360 game, so therefore it's garbage. Is the game good? That's what
Is
matters.
the game good?
But
Fable.
at the same time, right? I'll look at like when it's made. Like when it's made is like a big thing for me. Like if it was made like almost 15 years ago, I have no interest in it.
Dang. So, some of my
So
favorite
if
games
Dead
I still
Cell
play.
was like old
15
as
years
shit, I'm probably never gonna get around to playing it. Because
But what
I
if
would rather play.
Did
the
you even
newer
play
game.
007 though at all? You never played it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Dude, it was
like,
good,
what if you
man.
had
I
never
might play
played
it
Dead
once,
Cells
maybe.
and it got
Amazing.
relaunched this time around? It used to be like an old Super Nintendo game or something. I'm not saying it would be on that system. I'm just saying, let's say it was an old like Super Nintendo or Genesis or Dreamcast game, and it relaunched as a remaster. Dude, it would still be fun. It doesn't matter if it came out in the Dreamcast era, 2000, or it came out this in 2021. Is that if the game is fun, it's fun, and if you've never played it before, you'd probably want to play it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess.
Now,
because
if you
my
played
brain
it
is
back
always,
if you played it back in the, like you said, the 360, that you played it and you played it out, it's like, no, I'm not gonna go back and play a game because I played that a long time ago. I'm past it.
Yeah, but like at a lot of times, my brain is kind of in this thing where if it's old, I shouldn't have to be paying damn near anything for it, full price or
Gotcha.
or
But
whatever.
What you're
for
saying
it.
is if it's
But
fun to you, you'll
pay.
But for you, if it has to be current gen.
Yeah,
For
but
you
what's
to
the
be
difference between
has to
Shovel
just
Knight
came
and
out.
Mega Man?
It just
They
came out.
look exactly the same, like graphically and mechanically and gameplay wise. But you'll play Shovel Knight, but you won't play Mega Man ever again because now that's old for some reason when they're the exact same thing, pretty
because
much.
Mega Man has come out before, but Shovel Knight just came out. So I would rather play what just came out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what you're saying, the
Yeah.
graphics don't matter.
Yeah.
It's just when they came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I see that.
if Shovel Knight never came out, they just got a new edition that comes out tomorrow, and I have to pay $10, $15, $30 for it or whatever. I might still hold off on it, catch it on sale or something, but I would play that more so than if a new Mega Man collection comes out.
So
of all
I
the
was
older
just
games.
interpreting you as
Gotcha.
using the word old.
So you just want
as
to play a new
the
experience.
type of game.
Something new.
Yeah,
I got you.
No, just when it.
But wouldn't it?
released,
But if you never
that's
played
something.
Mega Man and it got re-released, that would be new for you. Is what I'm saying.
There
That would be new
there
for
are
you, would be
plenty
new.
Mega Mans that have that have come out right in the previous old gens, and they come out now in the new collection. I'm not playing it. I'm not that big of a Mega Man.
No,
fan
I
to
know,
go
but I'm
back
just
and-
I'm not. I get off
even
Mega
if
Man.
I never played.
Get
it
off
before.
Mega Man.
I've never played
I'm
it.
just talking about a good game.
Mhm.
If you never played it before, then it's new for you.
Yeah, no. I don't care. It came out a long time
That's
ago.
what's so
I'm
weird
not
to
getting
me.
it.
Because they play the exact same, but because one launched yesterday versus 20 years ago, even though they play the exact same way,
Right.
and they look the exact same way,
Yeah.
you won't play that one, but you'll play this one.
Correct.
Okay.
Just a time.
You just
frame.
want to play new stuff.
It came out now, so I will give.
But
them
it's not
money
new
for
though.
Now.
It's not new in any sense of the word, other than the time
Yeah.
it was released.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of games. Every game is just kind of like a reiteration of the old ones. So.
But that's just my preference. I just don't deem that if something came out in 2000 that it should be worth a game that's maybe the same like type of quality or something like that.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's the exact same quality, the exact same thing.
I don't deem them at the same because that's set for then. This is set for now.
Yeah, remember on the Switch, he didn't really see the value in.
But that's just me.
Super Mario.
Yeah, I know.
Remastered.
We had this discussion with 3D All Stars.
He was the All Stars. He was like, I don't see the value in it. But us, we're like, dude, these games were awesome to us, so we're gonna buy it.
No, but I had never played them.
And I haven't played.
Because I had never played Galaxy and I had never played Sunshine, but I played 64 and I really liked it. But the reason why I bought it was because I never played them before, and if they're good games, I want to play good games.
Yeah,
doesn't matter when they were made.
Yeah, and I hear you. And
if it's a good game, it's a good game. Because I play lots of games that have graphics worse than Super Nintendo that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, there's a lot of games, a lot of good games that I have just not touched. You know what I mean? There's games from the previous gen that I haven't touched that I did want to, but I just didn't get around to playing it. But if you told me that Days Gone never came on the PS5 collection or whatever, I missed my time with it. So I either have to go and buy it, a used copy or something like that, because that's how I would get it, right? As a used cheap copy. But if you're telling me that there's no way to get it, I got to pay, $20 for the copy because it came out so long ago, I'm not paying it. That's just me. Now, it could be totally worth that $20. But because it came out and I missed my mark for it, I'm not paying it now. The only thing that I guess it's just like how I would value it, how I would value that IP or whatever. If you ask me about a pair of Jordans that came out 6 years ago, and you telling me that this is a DS pair of Jordans that came out 6 years ago, you could buy it, but it's more than that. I value that more. So I'm gonna.
What do you mean more than that? The price is more.
Like if we're talking
about games that are cost less than what they were when they came out.
Well, you guys were talking about the Super Mario Sunshine.
I said $2.99.
I don't know if those were.
I said Goldeneye. I paid $2.99.
Came out or not? Huh?
I said I paid $2.99 for Goldeneye.
For Goldeneye?
Yes, I'm not paying the same price that I paid back in the day.
Maybe 20.
Okay, yeah. So, but bottom. I guess what I'm trying to say is like Days Gone.
But see, you're saying you just would never play Goldeneye, period,
wouldn't.
because it was released 20 years ago.
But
if they released a game that was just like Goldeneye today, named it, put a different name on it, slapped a different name on it, different developer, but they released it tomorrow, now you would consider playing it.
Possibly. Yeah.
You see how that doesn't make sense though?
So
to you, because it's old.
It's the same thing.
It's
the same exact thing.
It's a different name. It's a different person. I'm considering it to be a different IP. So it would then hold different value, different interest.
So
now, am I going to play
it doesn't
a
hold
game
any different
like
value,
007?
It doesn't actually though, because it's the same exact thing.
Now, if I found out that they just reskinned the same game, then it's not gonna value. It's not gonna interest me. It's just like I don't know, hell, like just like we were talking about, like the Mega Man collections and stuff like that, or whatever. If it's just a Mega Man collection, but they got all 4 Mega Mans, it's just Mega Man collection, but all 4 Mega Mans released, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, but I'm not buying it either because I'm not a fan of that type of gameplay. Well, that's why I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it just because it was released 20 years ago and therefore it's off limits.
So, but
that's what you're saying.
So that's the difference.
That makes sense to you somehow.
Yeah, that's the difference because you'll buy it if it looks good or not.
I'll buy it if it looks like fun.
If it came out 100 years ago or whatever.
If it looks fun, I'm playing it.
Game to play.
Yeah, if it's fun,
it would have to be a really something that really caught my eye and I really had to play it. There was no substitution or whatever. But most of the time, if I missed it, I missed it. That's how I feel.
So you like to play games in the season. Like, all right, this game just came out. This is the season everyone has the buzz for this game. and then 2 years down from the line, you're like, that game was hyped before, so I'm not gonna really start it now. Is that kind of your perspective?
Sort of. I mean,
So what's the limit? 3 years? 2 years?
Valley.
At what
Valley
point in time
was,
does it become
Stardew
unplayable?
Stardew Valley was out for like years.
Yeah.
I think Stardew Valley was like really, really old. But I don't know if I came across something that was fairly like similar to it. If I came across something that was similar to it.
So 2
there
years
was
is good.
something-
3 years is good.
There was
What,
something
or
in
5
Stardew
years off
Valley
limit?
that piqued my interest enough to make me want to play that old ass game now. And it was on
Gotcha.
a console that I had no games for, so it's like, you know, I'll play it.
Yeah,
And it
sure.
wasn't that bad price. So there are some that will get me to buy an old ass game. But majority of the time, if I missed when it came out
Then you
and
just
I
go for
missed
it.
like
Alright.
the
I can
year
see
or
that.
two, I'm probably not gonna even give it another look. Just because there's so many other things that I could play than that. Like there's so many other things that I could play besides 007.
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean,
even if 007 launched yesterday, there's so many other things you can play than it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I bought
irrelevant,
Dead
though.
Cells, right?
There's
And
so
I
many other things you
enjoyed
can
it for
play
the
at
little
any
time that
moment
I
in
played,
time.
but I'm not going back and playing it right now. I haven't come across some frame of time where I was like, oh, there's nothing. I should go back into Dead
Oh,
Cells.
so it's me, sorry.
Okay, no worries.
So it's
I
it's
got you.
that, but that's just me. That's just how I move. Like there's so many other
hear you.
games that I would want to play that I just never got around to playing. But once it hits a certain time limit,
So what is that
like
time
I
limit?
get cheap.
What
like
is that
it's-
time limit? So after 3 years, it's off the table now?
No, I'd probably
considered old.
say like off the table.
Yeah, so what
Like,
is
I'll
it like
never
5?
get
Is it like a specific, okay, at 5 years, I'm no longer, this is old now to me? 20 years or 3 years, 5 years, what's the arbitrary date that it becomes impossible to play?
So impossible to play.
That's what you said. It's like no
I'd
longer
say-
playable, even though it's good.
No, I didn't say it was no longer playable. I said it's no longer interests me. Like I'd rather spend my time doing.
But if they
something else on a
reskin it,
new
you're
game.
cool with it though.
No, if I found out it was a reskinned old ass.
That's
game,
what
I
Shovel Knight
wouldn't.
is. That's my point. Shovel
What is
Knight is just a
Shovel Knight
reskinned
reskinned?
version of like those old Metroid games. They're just like they're reskins. They're the exact same thing.
No, that's like a genre. It's like it fits in a genre, a specific genre or something like that. If you're telling me there's a new game that came out in a genre that's been around for 60 years, that shit happens all the time. So it's just a new game. It's a
They're
different
essentially, for
aspects
all
of it.
intents and purposes, just this. They're the same things though from a bygone era. They're the same thing from a bygone era. They're games from a bygone era.
Everything's been poached from something, right? Nobody has
No.
some super unique deal. Like
No.
no unique idea that they've
No,
put into
we
the
aren't
game
making
world.
games like Metroid and Castlevania as standard games today. If anyone makes those, we say that's from a bygone era. That's from an era of gaming that's no longer here.
I don't consider it like that. I don't look at it like that. Like, oh, that shit's like, but it's like, oh, I haven't seen a game in a while. Like, I'll check that out. I might want to play it, regardless if they're very similar, right? We liked those games at that point in time, so we play those games like that. I mean, if you find a game now that's similar to Dark Souls,
Yeah, but
you're gonna
games
wanna
looked
play it
different in
later.
1980 than they look today.
Yeah.
That's my point. Shovel Knight is representing a time of gaming era. It represents a game from
You're
a
saying
different era of
8-bit,
gaming.
8-bit or 16-bit or whatever.
The only way that
era,
games could be made back then, side-scrolling 8-bit platformer, you know,
Right.
boop, boop, boop. Like that was the only way the game could be made. People make games like that to emulate because they liked that the way the games played then. They remake them like that, exactly like it.
But not everything is the same. Different maps, different weapons, the same concept. Yeah, same concept.
Yeah,
but
they
things
play
are
the
different.
same way. Yeah, it's a different world.
storyline
It's a
might be
different
different,
world.
whatever.
But I'm saying that they're for all intents and purposes, they're the same. Yeah, you have a different character, a different name, a different text box when you talk to somebody. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the storyline's different. But I'm saying the game itself, for all intents and purposes, are just like games from the 1990s.
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say to that, because like if there's a game, you know, we compare things all the time. If there's an open world game like Cyberpunk, similar to Grand Theft Auto, I really enjoy playing Grand Theft Auto, so I'm probably gonna enjoy playing Cyberpunk. You know, there would have to be some really shitty things about Cyberpunk for me to not enjoy it. But if I enjoy one, I should enjoy the other. Same type of concept, different stories. So I'd be buying a game for a
I'm just saying it just doesn't add up, man. Like, if you never played KOTOR, you would never recommend someone. I mean, why would? So if I said, dude, KOTOR was really good, you really should try it. Go, well, you know what? That came out 20 years. I'm not going to play it ever again now. Even though it must have been a good game, even though I never played it, I'm not going to, take that recommendation or ever play it again because it's from 20 years ago.
Right. But if you told me like, oh, Starfield coming out, next year, that one's pretty similar to KOTOR. Or if you tell me the new Star Wars open world game is really similar to Knights of the Old Republic, I'm gonna be like, oh,
but
okay.
if a game is good,
cool.
if a game is good as a game is good, regardless of when it came out, it's gonna be fun and good no matter when it came out. That's a fact.
I mean, if it's free, I might check it out. But at the same time, I don't have the interest in playing it. I mean, those like saying Knights of the Old Republic is probably a different field. You probably have to stay in the 8-bit field because the graphics are going to be better for anything created in 2021 than it was created in 2000 for KOTOR. So I'm not going to want to play the shitty old graphics of that. So if we stay in the 8-bit world,
I know, but that's why I brought up Shovel Knight. That's why I brought up Shovel Knight.
Right.
Because it's the same exact. If an RPG came out that's just like KOTOR today, you would play it.
If you say an RPG,
because it came out today versus came out 15 years ago.
If you say an RPG that's similar to Castlevania is coming out in 2021.
No, I'm saying KOTOR. I'm using KOTOR.
I'm saying you can't use KOTOR because that's like 3D world. There's better graphics.
Yeah, I'm talking about a 3D world. I'm talking about a game that's the same exact build as KOTOR, but it's a different game in that vein. Mm-hmm. They named it something else, but it's the exact same thing, essentially. That means it plays the exact same way as KOTOR does, all the same mechanics. Different storyline, of course, because it's in that vein, and it came out tomorrow. That would interest you more than going and playing KOTOR, which doesn't make any sense.
Looks better.
No, it doesn't look any better. It's the exact same. I'm saying.
It's gonna look the same shit game that came out in 2000.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna play it. I won't play it. I want better graphics.
Right, but you're not consistent that way because you played Dead Cell, you played Shovel Knight, you play games with shit graphics.
Those are made to be 8-bit graphics. Like
I'm saying, this new game coming out is made to be like KOTOR.
The game KOTOR was made with that gen's best graphics capability. Right.
So, and Shovel Knight isn't.
So
Shovel Knight is not made with its generation's best graphic capability.
So Shovel Knight is specifically trying to stay in that 8-bit world.
That's what I'm said earlier.
KOTOR was not in no 8-bit world. It was in a 3D generated type of graphics.
Neither was, and that's why I brought up Mega Man, because neither was Mega Man. Mega Man was not in an Mega Man was in an 8-bit world, right? It was the best it was at the time. Mega Man was the best graphics that it could have been at the time. Right? Mega Man was at the peak of the processing power on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess because it's stuck in the 8-bit world.
Yeah, that's all. The system could only produce 8 and 16-bit games. So Mega Man was at its peak at its time. People are making games today that are just 8-bit and 16-bit graphics, just like Mega Man today, that you'll play because it came out today, but you won't play the same exact type of game because it came out 20 years ago. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
KOTOR is trying to be real. Mega Man is not. If I want realistic, right? KOTOR was as close as I could get to seeing some type of a realistic environment. Now I got a 2021 version.
You're not understanding.
KOTOR.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying if a game came out that's just like KOTOR, just like Shovel Knight came out that's just like Mega Man. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying? If a game today came out that's just like KOTOR, just like games that come out today that are just like Mega Man, so it's meant to be just like the past era. So KOTOR, the new game that comes out, is meant to be just like KOTOR, just like it. You would play it, but you wouldn't play KOTOR. The only difference between them two is the time, the date in which they were made. It's the only difference.
I would say that this is a little sticky one because at the time, Mega Man was the best graphics. But they turned that into a style of game now. So, there's those 8-bit retro kind of games. And that's like, that's a popular style. It's a niche popular style. But KOTOR, although it was the best graphics at the time, the graphics never really developed into like a niche style that people kind of like. I'm with you. With the games,
no, I know you are.
I don't care how.
I know. I'm just saying that they do, though. They do make games today that are low-end graphics like that. Because
So
maybe
they
the developer's
make
not
games-
as capable as making
Yeah.
the high end graphics. Their low end graphics like KOTOR, the best they can do with their RPG, like an indie developer can do that. I'm saying, just principally speaking, Marcus would consider playing that more than KOTOR because it just came out tomorrow versus 20 years ago.
Yeah, and
I would say like
And
there's
that
like
is the inconsistency I'm pointing out.
there's like this wall, right? Like we've had like 8 bits, you know what I mean? The 8-bit to 16-bit. Then you start getting into where they're getting more shapes and more design
Yes.
involved in the. So my wall is
64.
where that 16-bit or whatever is at. You know what I mean? If a game looks like the Nintendo 64 versions of stuff, I don't want it. If it looks like Coder now, I don't want it. If it looks like an 8-bit or a 16-bit that's stuck in that era, I will play it. But I don't want anything because I feel like
That's what I'm saying. That's the
where everything
inconsistency.
changed. 8-bit and 16-bit, like they all look the same, that blocky stuff. But now you have things that have a little bit more roundness in the shape and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some blocky stuff, but that's just because they sat there and tried to manipulate squares into rounds and they didn't do as well, or the squares are too big. But like we've been doing nothing but improving on that. We've been continuing to make that type of graphic better. So we haven't hit that block wall where it's like now everything looks completely different from this. Everything from, that's like in Coder that we play now or whatever looks like an improved version of Coder. So it doesn't look like an improved version of an 8-bit character. It looks different. Ain't no side scroller. This is a total 3D going around the world. So I mean, even when you look at like Mario's like,
Yeah, but this is a different argument
Mario
you're making now
Sunshine
than
or
you were
something
earlier,
like that.
right?
Mario
It's a different
Sunshine.
argument you're making now than you were earlier.
Well, I'm telling you, it doesn't.
Just letting you know,
it
it's a different
looks-
argument you're making.
What's the argument that I'm making now?
You're making the graphical argument, 3D graphical argument.
I already told you that if it looked like that, I don't want to play it. I told you, if there's a new game that comes out tomorrow that looks like Coder looks now, I don't want to play it. If it plays like Coder played, I will play it. If it looks like it
within the
should
last
look now.
year, within the last 5 years, you've never played a game with suboptimal 3D graphics on it?
If you're saying within the last since the PlayStation 4 came out, if I've played something
the
that should
PlayStation
have
4
been played
generation.
on the PS2,
No, just
Even the
looks that way.
PS1?
Just looks like a PS2 or PS1 game.
no.
You've never played a game that even just looks like it.
No. That as I will go back
So
to
then it
like
has nothing to
8-bit
do with the
games.
time. Then it has to do with how it looks.
But
That's what I'm saying. It's a different
involved
argument
with
than
the
what you're
time.
making.
That's involved with the time as well. Those old ass games came out that old. If it was to look like that, and they said it was the greatest game ever.
No, but
It
you
would have to be free.
said earlier. I said you have two games that look the same. One comes out today. One comes out 20 years ago. You wouldn't play the one that came out 20 years ago.
We were stuck
That's
on
what you
8-bit.
said.
We were stuck on 8-bit. 8-bit
Yeah,
is where we talked
I
about
used
that
8-bit
situation.
because I was going further back.
Then you went to Coder, so you
I went
skipped
to
up
8
to a whole new block, and that's where my graphical difference compares. Like,
I know, but
it gotta look
8-bit
good
is
now.
much worse than KOTOR is my point. So I was trying to go to something that was a little better than 8-bit.
Yeah. Just to jump in for a second. When it comes to people's preferences, I don't care. I don't try to like make reason.
That's fair.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair.
personally.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
has their
fair.
preferences. But he did say that if he found out it was a reskin or a remake of that game, he wouldn't be interested. So my interpretation, I could be wrong, is Marcus 20 years ago, he didn't buy that game, he didn't like it. So now 20 years in the future, he's still probably maybe not gonna like it. And he's
No, but
still
it
not
wasn't
interested.
about liking
I know.
it,
I'm
though,
just.
right?
I'm
It
just
wasn't
trying
about
to-
I didn't
liking
get
it.
around to it, so I won't.
Yeah, I'm just
If I
trying to.
didn't
Like,
get
he
around to it, I
saw that
won't.
game when it first came out, like Goldeneye, but he wasn't interested in it then, so he's not gonna pay money, and he's not really interested in it now. Maybe with Days Gone, maybe when they came out, I'm speculating here. He didn't. He's like, it was okay. 2 years in the future, he's like, that ship has sailed. I'm done with it. So I don't know.
But you don't recommend games to people then either, right? So you wouldn't recommend Mark go back and play the original God of War. You wouldn't recommend Mark to go back and play The Last of Us because they have better versions of The Last of Us, better versions of God of War today. You wouldn't recommend to go back and play those great games. You wouldn't put on him what you wouldn't do to yourself.
Well, I've played those games, so I would recommend the game that I played. But
no, but I just said that you wouldn't play
all
it.
I could do is tell you how great Coder is. Would I tell you to go back and play it? No, not compared to the shit that we got now. Nah.
Oh,
Don't
see,
waste your
I
time.
would.
I wouldn't waste.
See,
Nah, that's
Okay.
to me.
All right.
That's
Well,
like
at least
a
you're being
waste of time.
consistent.
Yeah. From my perspective, like for example, like a game called EverQuest, the game looks terrible.
Mhm.
It's clunky,
But
like,
you enjoyed
because
it.
I got into it in that time. It was revolutionary. Whenever I refer someone to it, like my friend Squid, he loves MMOs.
Mhm.
He hated it.
Mhm.
So I was like, man. And a couple times I tried to refer games like OG games I played. You know, like that came out in 1999, and I still play it here in 2021.
Mhm.
But you know, I can see how some people who, when they miss the ship, although EverQuest is a great game,
Mhm.
it's harder for people to get into it. You know what I mean? In the current day, so I see some value. I see some, you know,
Like if you're asking me if I would recommend The Last of Us, yes, because Last of Us still kind of looked like the shit we playing now, and it was a great story. It's not that outdated. Now, you asking me would I recommend that merchant game? What is it? What's the one that you
Moonlighter?
told me? Moonlighters. Yeah, I don't know why I can't remember the damn name. It was I'm assuming it was a newer game. I don't know. When you put me on, it was a newer game at
Yeah,
this
but
time.
that's
so I
my
checked it out
point,
'cause
though.
it was
That's my
free.
point from the. That's my
It's
point
free.
from
It's
the
an older
beginning.
game,
Though.
Yeah, for sure.
but I did recommend it.
It's not older. It's not older in the sense of the date that it came out. It's older though in
With the
its
time that it looks.
in its technology.
What it looks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But it was a newer game, right?
I didn't know
check
you wanted
when it
nothing to
came
do
out.
with old games, old technology games.
I don't.
I
want
thought you just
anything
liked
to
good
do-
games.
I don't want anything to do with a game that's already been out. If it's not free,
I know. See, that's
Like
what
I said,
I'm
if it's
trying
free,
to say. That's my
I
whole
will
point. I keep saying
play
this
it.
whole time.
Yeah,
I can recommend Moonlighters, but if I recommended another game that was just like Moonlighters, but it came out in 1995, now you don't want anything to do with it. That's what was boggling my mind.
It also has to do with if I paid for it.
I know.
I
That's
wouldn't
all
have-
I'm saying. That's what was boggling my mind. That's what was confusing me.
You could have told me about. Matter of fact, Hades. That's a good example. Hades, right? You're saying Hades is a great game, a 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece.
It is.
I will probably never pay for it, unless maybe it's like really cheap. I will never get around to paying for it. Maybe $1 or something like that. It did come out, right? It did come out. It's a newer game, whatever. It's that 8-bit style. It's come out a while ago. I don't know how long.
That style's come out a long time
It's come
ago.
out like this
No,
year.
Hades
right?
came out
That
last
one's
year,
pretty new.
2020.
Yeah. So last year it came out.
But its
8-bit
graphical
style.
fidelity is from 10 years ago.
Right. So at that point, you know, it's an older game, so it's already hit like my year mark or whatever.
Yeah, you don't know
I'd probably
whatever
give
that
it like
is.
six months is when I'm paying full price for it. Anything else, it's gotta be lower. Now, how much lower? When you start getting into 8-bits, I gotta be paying a lot lower because it's not giving me the graphical output. That's
I know, but that's not what was that was not what was rubbing me.
What's rubbing you is that I don't want to spend time
No,
on
I should
an
say
old ass game.
confusing me. No, that you would play Moonlighters or you would play Shovel Knight, but you won't play those exact type games because they came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, because
That's
the
what was
stuff that's
confusing me.
The stuff that's in
Not
Shovel
the
Knight,
price that you're willing to pay or any of that. And that wasn't confusing me. I understand all those reasons. You can have your reasons for what you're willing to pay for something, but you wouldn't play it. You just wouldn't play it. That's what was confusing me.
because it's also like, you know, regardless of how old it looks or whatever, there's gonna be newer concepts, new ideas. Maybe they try to revamp something that we really enjoyed in Castlevania that they really enjoyed, and so they wanted to add that in there, but like one up it or whatever. We're talking about minds of this generation as opposed to then when they were doing what they were max capable of, maybe. And we're talking about people that have something, you know, a situation that they're,
But I
they're
mean,
able
but
to
whatever.
to do
Ultimately,
more.
you know, you can buy and play whatever you want to play. I'm just
for sure.
you know,
You're just trying to understand
confused.
them. I
Yeah,
got you.
I'm just
All right.
confused. So,
But
it's
going
fine.
back to Goldeneye,
Yeah.
I definitely see why you wouldn't want to play it. You know what I mean? If you didn't play it back then, you
Sorry
definitely,
for that rabbit
you
hole.
definitely playing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. GoldenEye, it's really fun. It looked fun. Even that little ROM looked fun, and so yeah, I would play something that's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless of when it
Yeah,
came
so
out.
you guys would have to tell me all about GoldenEye.
Yeah,
and if
for
you
sure.
decide that you want to download it on your PC or whatever, let us know. You know, if you
Yeah,
guys
I
go in
may
on it or
download
whatever.
it, but because it doesn't really have the multiplayer. Because me and my brother and my cousins, whenever we had a family gathering, we would be playing this 4-player style. You know what I mean? So it was cool during the time. So if I could experience that with my cousins, my brother again, then I would definitely, do it. But we'll see. We'll see if Microsoft ever, right? Because Microsoft we heard they're going to be potentially buying some more studios, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be acquiring a big one this year. That's the rumors.
Yeah, we definitely did hear that they were in attempts of finalizing a deal, I would say by now, right? Because I mean, when the console first released last year, we knew that they were already making big moves by purchasing some of the companies that they did. And to get to the developer Bethesda, right? You were reading something that said that they had been working on Bethesda for quite a few years.
I think it was like a 3 years process.
Dang. Yeah, so
to get that purchase done. So this has been in the works for years. It's not like, because I think when it happened, we all assumed like, oh, this is their answer to, right? Oh, Sony's studios, because
having all those good,
because look PlayStation has these great games coming out for the PS5. And then we saw Bethesda come out. Oh, that's their answer. Pow, right? But no, really, that was just the timeline that it lined up with. Because they've been negotiating this for 3 years now, 3+ years, right?
So
that's
it's
what's
interesting that they finally made the finishing, decision to complete the deal.
Right in line,
on the cusp of,
right?
Game Pass
that's what's interesting about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I'm wondering if maybe it was just like, okay, we need to go ahead and pull the trigger on this, because of PlayStation or whatever, and because we're trying to get more things going on Game Pass, and we're really pushing Game Pass forward. Or maybe it just was happenstance. It just came across that. But I'm definitely interested to see what they will finally make a decision on.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a lot of great game studios that are out there floating around on their own. And, it would be interesting to see what they take. We still haven't come across a new Bethesda game that will let us know for sure whether they will play an exclusivity type of game with it. And and maybe hold it for 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, we don't know what they're going to do yet.
Or, it's lifetime or whatever.
Or just open it up to all.
Yeah,
day
or
one,
just have it off top day one. It's available to everybody. So I would definitely like to see what type of move they're making with these studios.
The big news here, though, is that they're acquiring another studio just as big as Bethesda this year. So that's
what
like
do you
huge,
think?
man.
What are other big studios that are as big as Bethesda?
That are not bought by other people.
Right.
UB. I'm thinking UB or EA. UB or EA.
UB would be a good one. EA, pass.
UB would be really great.
I feel like EA would be out of the question because they've already done a deal with Game Pass for EA Play.
But I'm thinking the reason why I mentioned EA is because of that deal. It makes it seem like they're in negotiations. Yeah, it makes it seem like they've been
hey,
talking.
Let's put your games available.
Yeah, it just
on
makes
Game
it
Pass
seem
and
like
see
they've
if
been
they get
talking.
played.
Yeah, it just makes it seem like they've been in cahoots.
Yeah, because for people
for a
like
while
us, we
now.
don't play too much sports games. But I would say maybe for internationally, maybe it would be a good move. Because I know a lot of the sports games are pretty popular.
I mean, they have a couple more games in sports, but yeah, EA is basically known for sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The FIFAs, the 2Ks, the Maddens, right? Yeah.
But I mean, what type of a game changer would it be to get like Uplay? You know what I mean?
That'd be sick,
dude.
whatever,
UB would be good
That
for
would be
us.
That would be nuts.
But I mean, we would quantify EA as just as big
Yeah, it
as
would be
Bethesda,
cool.
right? That'd be just as big an acquisition
for
as
sure,
Bethesda,
for sure.
right? Yeah, it doesn't interest us personally as much, but that would be a big one. But yeah, I would love it if they acquire. But what's cool is there is one that's happening, right? So that's what's crazy that we can sit here and we can speculate. We're not wishing any longer. I hope there's actually real possibility that they can acquire UB, right? And then we get all UB games.
EA has some decent other games. Battlefield. They have Plants for Zombies, which I'm a personal big fan of. All the Plants for Zombies games. They got
pretty fun.
They got.
Isn't the Just Dance EA?
Or is that
I don't
Ubi?
know.
Ubi?
No. Oh, is that UB?
I do not know.
I was like, because I think they have dance games too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of athletic, right? Yeah, like athletic in general, whether it
Yeah.
be sports or like dancing or something, right?
Dang,
So-
it's Ubi.
It's UB.
Just Dance is UB.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
They got
cool.
a lot of different variety on theirs.
Yeah.
But
crazy.
I feel like they would want to get something like Just Dance or whatever. They'd have to bring something like the Connect back, right? Because that would
That's true.
That's
How are you
something
gonna
that
play
would really utilize, the Connect.
That's true.
Is those type of dance games and other
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
I heard that they're thinking about. There was some rumors that they might unveil a new Kinect.
Oh yeah.
A new.
As long as
Kinect.
it's free.
To combat against
It's
what?
not going to be free.
Because the Kinect.
A camera. Free camera.
I was
there's-
just.
There's no way it's going to be free. Yeah.
I wouldn't buy it. Heck no.
Even if it was like revolutionary in a lot of things that it did.
If it had VR, if it had some I would
mean,
contemplate
like augmented reality or like I don't know. There might be some cool things you could do with it.
I mean, there
all
was
the voice
definitely
activation
some-
stuff. No,
That voice activation
I don't know.
stuff's a
I'm
little
just grabbing
touchy.
at things that they
Yeah.
could do. But I'm just saying, what if it was like really cool? Maybe.
If it had some VR component like the PSVR, then like if Xbox is like, hey, here's the camera. One day this camera's gonna be for our future VR. Oh yeah, I'll buy it for sure.
I feel like they wouldn't even be able to enter the door with that. They would have
Yeah.
to come with the whole VR unit.
Or if they
Because
said you
who's-
could use
who's
this
just gonna buy
camera,
the camera
and it's
that nothing
I
compatible.
know.
with
utilizes?
VR.
You'd have to have the VR unit. I'm just trying to think of cool things they could do with the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of like. What if it was like really smart AI, and you could say, Xbox change my channel to ESPN or Xbox put this game on for me or
Couldn't you
like it was
already
really
do
smart
that with
AI.
the OG
You could do it
one
with the
for
old one.
The
360?
Kinect, I don't know all the features of the
Because
Kinect.
the old one had
but-
it
did have
in
the-
and out. It had a HDMI in and out, so you can
Yeah.
control your cable box and things like that.
Yeah,
'Cause it was supposed to
I
be
don't
like
know
a
how
HUD,
streamlined. How
like
the new one
how-
doesn't have-
I don't know how quick and streamlined it was.
Yeah.
I just don't know how well it understood your voice or not.
I do know that the Kinect was pretty cool with like body recognition and stuff like that, and like recognizing the
Uh-huh.
area of the
That's true.
landscape that you're in. And when you compare it using like PlayStation Move, right? Not even VR, but just PlayStation Move, and then the Kinect. Like the Kinect was a much better product because you just had to deal with the camera itself.
Yeah.
And the camera
You have to
pivoted
have
and
the-
moved, according to following you,
Mhm.
where, you have these two controllers that you have to keep charged up on top of the camera and in order to play the PlayStation Move games. So the Kinect was a way more versatile,
Yeah.
like easier to use thing, and the PlayStation Move was more so on the gimmick nature. And it didn't fully get utilized until you got the VR, but there hasn't been enough backing in the VR, community to make those like worthwhile for like, a great purchase. You know what I mean? But that Kinect was something that was like pretty cool. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, I think
just
a lot
they
of
needed
people were
more-
just upset that they
more
were
to
being
it.
forced to buy it
Yeah.
and like increase the cost of
Yeah.
the system.
That
I
was
think if
a
it's
dumb
like a
move.
separate purchase and it had all these cool features, then
Yeah.
maybe it would be something people would consider buying.
Yeah, maybe they can get some of the streamer market. Maybe they can make something tailored to streaming. Like, hey, this is the Kinect.
Yeah.
with- It has some
Streaming.
special streaming
Yeah,
features.
streaming could be big. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what features. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
hypothetical throwing out to
Gotcha.
like,
To
what
be
if it
able
had
to-
cool features that you were really neat? Then would you consider buying it? Like maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Imagine if
I
it was
would
like
have
a
to know what the
4K
features
camera or
are.
something crazy like that.
Yeah, like if it had
wide
4K
angle.
or
a
camera
4K
would be
camera
cool.
that had like LiDAR detection and all that stuff, so that you could play those games that
Mm-hmm.
would require some type of watching you move.
That'd be cool.
But like at the same time, it's able to record you so you can stream with it.
That'd be tight.
On Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
and people can see the game. They can see you. You know what I mean? All off the one unit or whatever. That type of stuff
Yeah.
would be really cool and
Yeah.
convenient. For a streamer. I mean, granted, the streamer's probably gonna have enough stuff to be able to
Yeah.
record themselves already, but
Yeah,
that type of stuff would be cool if they had those things on there. And it probably, I mean,
it'd be
something
neat
like that
too,
would
like
be more
augmenting
than
your
$100
reality,
though, right?
like like it's picturing you and on your screen. You can like do certain things to like
Like
augment
swipe
the reality.
left,
Yeah,
right.
swipe or like
That'd be kinda cool.
you have
Right.
a picture and you can like maybe rearrange a room or something. I mean, all sorts of things you might be able to do, and just with
Yeah,
swiping.
maybe the tiles.
so you don't even
like,
have to put
move
like a controller on, or you're just like
just
it's like
catches
the
your hand
the
movements
camera
and stuff,
notices
yeah.
where your hands are at. Like that'd be really neat. There could be like really cool augmented reality type
And
features with the
and I mean,
with
that
the
was-
cool
that was
high tech
already
camera.
there.
You know, huh?
That was like already there with the Xbox 360 Connect.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, playing Just Dance and all that stuff, like it caught all your arm movements
Yeah.
and stuff. And I
That
mean,
was dope.
Just Dance now catches your arm movements on like the PlayStation camera.
Yeah.
So that stuff is already there. It's just like, what else cool can you make it? And are there enough games to make it worthwhile being purchased?
Yeah.
If it's cheap, then I could see it being a nice little accessory that's purchased, because if we look at everything that that Microsoft has given us for the Xbox Series X,
Uh-huh.
there literally are no accessories for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You know what I mean? The PlayStation came out with a headset, a camera, a charging station,
Media remote.
You know what I mean? And a media remote. The Xbox Series X, Microsoft has literally only given us the Xbox. You know,
Yeah.
I don't even think there's been a charging setup. I think because they just keep the old one that they had
the
out
batteries
there.
in
There's
the old
nothing
one,
new.
yeah.
They just keep reselling the old accessories. Yeah.
Yeah, and they keep giving you those damn Duracells.
Yeah.
You know,
And we know that. We know why that is because they have a partnership with
because they
Duracell.
have like a mutual
They have
understanding.
an energizing partnership.
I'm gonna keep making these controllers without that
Yeah.
lithium battery, and you're gonna keep
You
you
kick
know
some
selling
away,
us
yeah.
these Duracells at a decent price to throw in here. You know.
Yeah.
But-
So
Yeah.
Yeah, but did you guys hear that Elon Musk is trying to get into the video game field?
he's actually not, but
He's making a Dogecoin
he did
gaming
something that
system?
could be utilized for video
nah,
games.
it's off of Bitcoin.
Oh, a Bitcoin
Yeah,
system.
and
Oh.
Ethereum. That's the only way you can play it. But
Yeah.
nah, but it was like, you know, Neuralink,
Mhm.
something that we've seen possibly utilized in like all kinds of different games. You know, it's like an idea or whatever. You know, like those
We've
little
imagined
board
it.
games where you put
Yeah,
that little
we've
headset on and you
imagined
can
it.
kind of watch that ball.
Sword
move
Art
through
Online,
stuff.
dude. Yeah.
Sword Art Online.
Right, yeah.
But you know, he's gotten a monkey to be
Mhm.
able to play.
That's
you know,
crazy.
these games or this game. I don't even know what game it was.
He didn't
but
show it. He didn't show video footage of it,
Cyberpunk.
but
That's
that's
good.
what he said that,
That
he's
would be
done.
funny.
Yeah.
But you know, he's able to get a monkey to play this, and it's no controller.
with
it's
his
just
mind.
with his mind.
Yeah.
And you know,
It's wild.
just
It
for
is
people to be
wild.
playing with that. I know it's always been an idea,
Mhm.
right? That's been in people's
Science
heads.
fiction, you know.
But
yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if it actually came into fruition within the next 5 years? You know, that feels like it's something that's
next
in
decade?
the 2040s or something like that we come
Yeah.
across. You know, when we're like old and decrepit and we're on our way out. You know, it's finally we're able to play a game with our mind.
yeah, right. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's a cool idea, you know, and I would look forward to seeing it actually work, you know, getting
yeah.
the recorded footage. I mean, you're not gonna really know if it's the monkey really playing it or not.
That's the
I don't
coolest
know
thing
how you
about
tell,
this
but-
story, right? Is that we've all dreamed of this, right? Like they make animes, right? Like Sword Art Online or like Ready Player One. Like it's always been like a science fiction trope, you know, to, you know, you enter it with your mind only, right?
Mhm.
And like your mind's playing, whether it goes into a world or whether you're like looking at the screen with your mind, like everything is your decision and what you're doing, like freeing your gaming experience.
Right.
And it's like he kind of is showing that this is actually not just science fiction anymore. Like
That's crazy.
it
man.
actually could be done, and you know, you can get a Neuralink implanted in your head. I know he's doing it to improve interfaces between our brains and our devices and our computers, but I can easily see this going in the direction of gaming,
Yeah, I mean, once
right?
it's figured
I think
out,
that's where
it
the
gets- it's
money's
gonna get
at. I
fully
mean, he's thinking
utilized.
there's lots of money here, which there is, because everyone has a cell phone. But dude, there's lots of money in gaming too, man. There's lots of gamers out there, and it's only growing like every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and trying to produce some type of Neuralink for gamers is like a trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely I could just imagine, you know, how it would be to just be able to, you know, just like in Sword Art Online, just lay down in your bed and close your eyes.
And play your
and then,
game,
like,
dude.
You know,
That's so
Damn,
cool.
Power
that would be
Lincoln
cool.
or
Yeah,
something.
dude.
You know,
Yeah.
there's like a
Man.
TV somewhere, but your mind's getting
Yeah,
sort of
dude, it's
video
so
projected
awesome.
or
So
something.
imagine like FPS is like sometimes it's reaction time by
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Imagine if your mind reaction time is faster, you're always like
Your
Exactly.
mind is always
Yeah.
faster than your
yeah,
fingers,
yeah.
right? Because you got to send the
Well,
signal.
that's the point of the Neuralink that he invented, is he wanted to decrease
The
the latencies,
delay,
right,
yeah,
between
exactly.
you know, our interfaces and our mind.
right.
And so, yeah, dude, yeah, exactly.
So you
That'd
might be
be
killer in first person shooters once we
See,
get
all
that.
of a
I might
sudden
be
you
actually
become good,
good, right?
at it. All of a sudden, yeah.
Nothing but headshots,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
360
Yeah.
no scopes.
Because, you know, most people who play games, you know, are just uncoordinated lops, you know, in their
Yeah.
bedrooms. And then all of a sudden people who aren't that get to jump in and they're actually good now. It's
I
not
know,
about the
right?
controller. The
It's like
controller
esports
anymore.
is actually an
Yeah.
esports.
Yeah, it's actually a sport now. Yeah.
Ooh, M sports.
That's crazy,
Mind
dude.
sports, man.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's a neat idea.
But yeah, man. But that's all we got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube and you made it this far, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
You know, give us a thumbs up. You know, maybe write something down in the comments. Maybe we had a good debate about
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
would play and what we wouldn't. So
Yeah.
maybe you can put down there what you'd actually give your time for. Like, what's your time limit on a game that you would give it? before
Yeah,
you
do
don't play it
you
anymore?
play a game regardless of time era, as long as it's good to you, or does the era matter to you?
Yeah, I might be the only one in this. You know, I'm the only one at this on this table, but you know, I might be the only one with that type of.
Hey, or are you like me? You wait for
mind.
games to be cheap, and that's your entry point. Like, hey, I'll get it if it's cheap enough.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm doing right
price
now.
does
I'm
matter.
scooping up all
Yeah,
those
of course,
old
price
games.
matters.
Price matters
Yeah, I
big time.
agree.
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So once again, thank you.
Yeah.
For
and
checking.
And on a note where we all agree, price matters.
Price
Price matters, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
I love you, me.